All right, good morning. I'm going to call to order the City of West Palm Beach Special Magistrate hearing. Today's already May 1st. It's 9:05. My name is Amity Barnard. A little bit about process. When you hear your case called, come to the podium here to my right. The city code officer will come to the podium to my left. The city will go first. They will present any evidence, any testimony they have. Call any witnesses they have. When they're finished, I'll turn to you. You can present any evidence, any testimony you have to me, cross-examine any witnesses that the city has put on. At the end of the discussion, I'll make a ruling. You'll either get that as you leave the room here today or in the mail after today's hearing. With that said, the first thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify on any items on today's agenda. If you could stand and raise your right hands for me, I'll swear you all in at once. All right, do you all swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. With that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
First case number 14-3802 Westview Avenue, CE 24031539. Number 14-3802 Westview Avenue.
Good morning. Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. I received a complaint in mid-February about a property on Westview Avenue, actually down the street from 3802 Westview. So on February 26th, I went to 3802 and I observed several violations. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 4th of 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on March 16th of 2024, and it was returned. The property was originally cited for 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, which has complied. Also was cited for 18106-G, paint, which has also complied. It was also cited for 18106A, clean and sanitary, pressure washing, trimming the landscape, and including a swell. Most of that has been done, except for there's some little trim that needs to be done by the swell area, which my reinspection photos would show that. Also, it was cited for 94-445-4-I, prohibited trees. There are 2 prohibited trees on the property, the Chevrolet umbrella trees. That has not complied. Also, 94-71-C, outdoor storage. Most of that has complied. There's only a couple of little things which will show in my reinspection photos. I have had contact with Mr. Hooks, who has started work on his property. Currently, the property is still in violation of the 18106A, the 94-445-4-I, and 94-71C. The city is requesting an additional 120 days to gain compliance, or $100 a day until compliance is achieved. Good morning. And the photographs we're seeing at this time are photographs you personally took? Yes, ma'am. And those photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations that were existing as well as were currently existing? Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Lee Hooks.
And you're the property owner, that's right.
That is correct.
All right, so you've heard what the city is saying. The documents that have been scrolling on the screen, the photographs, there's notice documents. Do you have any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
No, I'm trying to figure out what is some of the photographs. I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, these are when I did the reinspection on yesterday.
Yes.
That's the tree that has not been touched yet, the Chevrolet there.
Right.
If you go back up, it'll show the one that's in the front that you have started having taken down. That's just the piles of stuff from cutting the trees down. That's the side of the road. That's the one that was in the front, excuse me. That one he started to cut that one.
So, sir, those are the photographs that she originally took when the code officer cited you, and then there's her reinspection photos showing that you're making progress towards compliance. That's what she's indicating to you, that those photos are from reinspection. She's circled in blue, it looks like on many of the photos, either continuing violation or instances where you're making progress. So you've heard what the city is saying. They're asking me to give you 120 days to come into compliance. Can you come into compliance within that time?
I doubt it very seriously because, first of all, I'm a 77-year-old man, retired, and then came back to work here at the city to pay citizens' insurance premiums, which are extremely high. But if I can just give a little background, please.
Go ahead, sir.
Purchased a property in January of 1979. My late father and I planted those schifferera trees in the backyard. I don't think they were in violation at that particular point in time. If we'd known that, we wouldn't have planted them. They've been there for 40-plus years. They have not caused anybody any problems, haven't caused any plumbing problems for me, haven't caused any plumbing problems for anybody in my surrounding area. I realize the trees need to be cut back considerably. That was the next thing on my agenda for this summer, to take care of that, to cut them back considerably. I see she took some pictures of the trash pile, and I just want to insert this. Trash is picked up at my house on the Mondays, on every Monday.
Okay.
They passed right by this Monday and didn't even pick up the trash. So there's some problems going on. The week before last, they skipped my garbage. So I got some problems with the city in reference to that's going on as reference as well. But going back to the situation with the outside storage, you said there was still a violation of that?
There's, excuse me, there's still a couple of items. The majority that, go back to that picture that was just there, that's the original state.
Yeah, that was
A lot
stuff
of-
that was getting rid. That's when you took that on the 26th. I'm not sure what that day that was. We were getting ready to move that stuff out to be picked up by trash. That's why it was put on the side of the house. The trash can, when I first got violated in 2019 about my trash can, the trash can had been in the same place for 40 years, which was right in the front. And then I understand that we had to move it inside the gate. That's what I did. And then supposedly I got cited again, which I did not even receive any mail. I was reading over the documentation that they had sent a certified letter that was returned to you guys, which means I never was notified. I called down here and said, what do I need to do to get back on before you? I guess, I don't know if you were here in 2019 or not, but to get back on, they said I'd have to pay $200 to get back on. I came down and paid the $200 to get back to meet with the magistrate at that point in time about what was going on.
Okay.
I never received any information. They claimed they sent me an email. Email I never got. But now this time I did get a registered letter. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
I try to be a law-abiding citizen to do what I'm supposed to do. I've been in that community for 45 years.
For a long time. I understand that, sir.
Yeah.
So the couple of miscellaneous items, what is it that he still needs to move? Is it
Well, it's, okay, so,
I just want him to understand what.
no,
still
I
needs to-
understand, and I'm
be
going
gone.
to show him. Keep going. There's two piles. There's that one and there's another one which I took pictures of. I know that one has the paint bucket there. They're not going to pick that up with the paint bucket in that pile. And generally, I'm not for sure exactly of the cubic, as far as sanitation picking up.
Is
but
there a
if-
size restriction you're saying that
Yes,
the
ma'am,
pile
and
can
if
only be a
so,
certain
you have to
size?
call them
Okay.
for pickup. But like I said, that's something for sanitation, so I don't want to go out on a limb and tell you something that I'm not 100% sure on. But those couple of items that circle back there, there's like a couple of buckets. I know one is a flower pot, which I did not circle, but there's just a couple of little things there behind that fence that's still out there. The majority of it you did move, and I appreciate it. Keep
And that photo's
humble.
from yesterday, it looks like,
Yes,
right?
these are
Yeah.
from yesterday. He did paint the driveway, he painted, the wall out front, he pressure washed. He has like a mop bucket or something there, and a couple items back there. Then if you
Well,
keep,
that's a ceramic flower pot that's there. That's what that is.
that's what that one is?
Yeah, that's a.
Okay, but there's
that's
a
flower
couple of
pot.
other things that's back there, but keep going and I'll show them the other things that I have highlighted. That's the driveway that was painted. But you see the edging, did you see how that grass and the edging in between there? Yes, that, and if you keep going, there's a couple other spots. Like I said, the majority of it you got done. Keep going. You'll see it should be in blue. Okay, see on that side of your driveway, you see how that edging, you edged on the sidewalk side, but by the street, that's also has to be edged up and that stuff trimmed up. Keep going, there's a couple of other little areas. But like I said, those are just small things that, yeah, everything in the blue, it's basically edging now and getting that little debris stuff from off the edges. That's mainly what's left as far as that. He did pressure wash the sidewalks. He did paint his driveway and we painted the wall. So that is nice and clean.
So those are relatively easy fixes.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
more significant one is the tree removal, right?
Yes,
And there's a total of 1.5 trees left to cut
Yes,
down? Okay. All right, anything further from you, sir?
Yeah, if I may insert something, I would just like to say this to code enforcement. It's very good what you all are doing. I know you're doing your job. When you send out a violation, it would really help the residents and all of us up in that area, basically retired older folks. If you could send photos of what's violated along with your letter so we can at least address what the situation is. That'd be a great help to us as far as residents are concerned. I mean, it's a very expensive proposition being a homeowner nowadays, very expensive.
Right, and so what I would advise you is that becomes an administrative burden. I won't speak for city staff, but when you get that violation notice in the mail, you've done the right thing. You've showed up to the hearing so that you can have a very good dialogue with the code officer. You can see the photos here today. You can also do some of that before you even get to the hearing. So you could call the code officer, and a lot of times I hear them say that they go out onto the site and meet with residents and explain exactly what the issues are so that you're very clear about what you need to do to correct it. But I appreciate your point that when you get a notice and it says certain things, it's sometimes hard to understand exactly what you have to do. But you did show up this morning, so I'm going to give you more time than the city's asked, because I think the trees are a little bit of a bigger deal to deal with, and I understand you're retired and you're doing some of this yourself. I don't know if you can get the trees all the way cut down by yourself, but I'm going to give you plenty of time to do it, because based on what I've heard from the code officer, and based on what you've said, you've made great efforts to come into compliance. You've done quite a bit already. So I'm going to make sure that you have plenty of time to remedy the rest of the things that remain outstanding. The little things she showed, the little miscellaneous outdoor storage items, that should be pretty quick for you. The edging on the street side of your grassed areas, again, that's pretty easy correction. But I'm going to give you plenty of time on the trees. So hopefully you won't get to the point where a fine ever starts running, given the time that I'm going to give you. Anything further from you, sir?
No, that's all I can think of at this point in time.
All right, thank you, sir. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
So how much time are you?
All right, I'm just going to tell you that in just 1 second, sir. So in case CE 24031539, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the posting affidavit, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'm going to find that based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony here this morning, that the respondent's in violation of sections 9471C, 18106A, and 944454I. I'm going to give the respondent 180 days to comply with those code sections, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. So I've given you an additional 2 months to get those things done, in addition to what the city has requested. So you have 180 days to get them done. Make sure you keep in touch with the code officer, but make sure everything is complied by that 180-day deadline, okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Your Honor, if I just may, just add, thank you, Ms. Weaver, for highlighting and doing that. That's great, and that's helpful to the special magistrate as well as myself. I appreciate that.
If I would like to insert two things, if I may.
Go ahead.
Along the street where the edging needed to be done, when I edged the sidewalk area, I couldn't get out there because cars were parked there. And I got another situation with that I've got to deal with in reference to people parking right in front of my house, and I can't even get some things done. And second of all, the city came by and planted a tree in my swell area and didn't even ask me if they could do it. I mean, it's the city's property, I understand that. But it seems
It's
as though,
their right of way. That's not before me today as in terms
I
of code
understand. I
enforcement.
just wanted to get on record and say that.
Understood, sir. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Next case, number 9516 Mayflower Road, CE 24031637, number 9516 Mayflower Road.
Good morning. Code Officer Richard Pasmino.
Can I have just a few minutes? My son is coming. He does the maintenance on my house.
Okay, you want us to skip over your case and we'll come
Yes,
back to you?
please.
Okay, very good.
Oh, I think that's
he's here.
him.
Just in the nick of time. Go ahead, Mr. Pasmino.
The property at 516 Mayflower Road was cited on March 20th, 2024. Certified mail was sent out on March 20th. It was received on March 25th. In addition, the property and City Hall were both posted on March 25th. So- and notice violation, notice of hearing was also sent via first-class mail. This property was cited for Florida Building Code 105.4.1 for expired business permit. That is for building permit, yeah. Expired building permit for an AC changeout, mechanical AC changeout and ductwork permit from 2018. 9471C outdoor storage, which is complied as of today. 18106G exterior paint. 18103B exterior roof repair required. And 18106A, which is complied. That was for pressure washing. I have had contact with the owner via email, who is here today. She sent me a contract for the roof. The roof is under contract to be replaced. And from her explanation, the painting will be done after the roof repair. A permit is submitted online for the roof as of this week. And the expired permit still needs to be closed out. It needs to be paid to be reopened, and an inspection is required for that. The city's recommending 90 additional days to comply these three sections, or we're asking for a fine of $150 a day.
Morning.
Good morning.
Just for some clarity, you said there are 3 sections, so the permit's still non-compliant, and what are the other 2 sections?
The other two are 18106G for exterior paint and 18103B, the roof.
Okay. And do you know when the permit was actually submitted? Or I can ask the owner if you don't.
Which permit?
The roof permit was submitted earlier this week.
April 30th. It was showed
Okay.
online yesterday.
Okay, I just wanted the date. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, do you guys have the paperwork for the AC permit when it was submitted to apply for? Because we have no knowledge.
You would
of
have to
that.
get it from the building department,
Okay.
right across the hall.
We have no knowledge of that.
Okay, nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Okay, thank you. Your names for the record?
My name is Peter Burkett.
Elizabeth
I'm
Ramsey.
sorry, can you say your name again?
My name, Peter Burkett.
And Elizabeth Ramsey.
Thank you. All right, so you've seen the photographs and the documents that have been scrolling on the screen. Do you guys have any objection to those documents being entered into the record? They're photographs, they're the notice documents for today's hearing?
No, that's
Okay. And you've heard what the city is saying. It sounds like you've complied with a couple of sections, but you need to pay the renewal fee for the AC and ductwork permit to get that closed out and final inspected. And then you need to, you have still outstanding violations with regard to the paint and condition of the structure for the roof, which the city code officer indicates is under contract. Do you want to give me any additional information there?
Yeah, I guess our question was, because that work, the AC was never done, that contractor basically ghosted us. So I guess our question would be, if we go across the hall and get the permit and there's nothing, there's no contract on file, because I pulled it up myself as well, and there's no plan submitted on file, there's nothing. It's like a phantom permit.
Okay, well, you'll get time to comply with that. It sounds like that, I think, and the city code officer will tell me it, but I would suggest that you're gonna need to speak with the building department on that. I'll give you time to figure that out, especially if you say that the work wasn't done and there's nothing to inspect.
Okay.
It's just, sounds like it may just be an administrative process to figure out how to close it out. I
That
don't
makes
know if
sense.
you have
Yeah,
to
that's
pay a
what I would do
renewal.
with accounting, so that
Yeah,
makes
but
sense.
you'll have time to do that, but that'll just be an administrative option. What's the timing on your roof? The code officer indicates that you told him that you're under contract for the roof work?
Correct. So the permit was submitted yesterday.
Okay.
They've been paid the deposit to start the work. The guy did tell us that he is booked out, when I spoke to him, that he's booked out till June. So, I mean, he's trying to get out there as fast as he can.
Okay,
So probably, if I was, 90 days should be enough time. I would say if you had to, 30 days would probably be safe.
once they start, 30 days to complete the work, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, 'cause-
What's the scope of it? Is it a,
It's
is it
the
a total?
entire roof.
It's a total re-roof?
yeah,
Okay.
it's a total re-roof for $16,000 is the estimate. So, yeah, I mean, Frank told me he's booked out till June.
And then how long, you indicated you're not gonna paint until after the roof is done?
Sorry, one more time. Yeah, as soon as it's, the roof is done, we'll be able to do the painting, because our neighbor's actually a painter professionally. He's gonna do it for us as soon as the roof is done.
And can he do that pretty quickly?
Yeah,
Okay, that's a couple day job, right?
yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right, anything further you'd like me to hear?
That's it, right?
Okay. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time than the 90 days. I think that's cutting it close, especially if your roofing contractor's already booked out through June. That's 60 of those 90 days, so I'm gonna give you an additional 30 days on top of that, just to make sure you get done. I appreciate you showing up to the hearing today. That's the time to ask for the time that you need, so I appreciate you taking your time out of your day to do that. Anything further from the city?
Nothing further.
Okay. Anything further from you all?
No, ma'am?
Okay. In case CE 24031673, I'm going to enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'm going to find, based on the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the city code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 105.4.1 of the Florida Building Code, section 18-106G and 18103B. I'm going to require respondents to comply with those code sections within 120 days, or a fine of $150 a day will be assessed for each day thereafter. So make sure you're totally done within those 120 days. Keep in contact with the code officer if you hit any bumps along the way, just so that they understand where you are. But thank you for showing up again, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, number 4109 Heath Circle South, CE 24031619. Number 4109 Heath Circle South.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarling. Upon patrolling of Spencer Lakes neighborhood on March 15th, I observed violations at 4109 Heath Circle South. The violations I observed were 94-445-4-I, prohibited trees. Prohibited trees need to be removed. Queen umbrella and Brazilian pepper found on property. I also observed 18-106G, painting of structure. I also observed 78-6, numbering standards, addressing in need of repair. I also observed 94-302-A-4, fence repair, fence in need of repair, replacement, or removal. If fence is being replaced, a permit is required. I also observed 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. That violation has since come into compliance. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted April 17th. Certified mail and regular mail was sent March 18th. Certified mail was signed for April 23rd. I have been in contact with Mr. Hunter yesterday. We did have a conversation on the phone. We went over all the violations and how to bring them into compliance. Mr. Hunter did request additional time to get the violations sorted out. So with that being said, city is recommending 120 days to bring the property into compliance, or $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And the photographs that been shown are truthfully and accurately depiction of what you observed the violations to be?
Yes, ma'am.
And you currently stated that you're wanting to give 120 days for compliance, correct?
Correct, ma'am.
And the affidavit of posting is in the file? Did we see that?
Yes, should be attached.
Okay, great. Nothing further from the city special magistrate.
Thank you. Your name, sir?
Joseph Hunter.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And yourself?
Good. So you've heard the city's position. You've seen the documents and the photographs that are on the screens on both sides of me in the back. The notice documents for this morning's hearing, as well as the photographs. Any objection to those documents being entered into the record?
When you mentioned the painting of the structure, are we looking at the full house or the columns?
Right there, sir. There it is.
The columns?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Looked like he had some stucco work done there, but it wasn't completed.
Right, I did.
So any objection to those documents being entered, sir?
No, but I didn't realize that.
Go back up, please. Scroll back up. Up. You're going down. Pull it up, please. Thank you. I just want to show him the trees that are needed. That's the queen umbrella that needs to be removed on one side of the property. If you go back to where the fence is, you can see the Brazilian pepper. Come on, there you go. Right there, that's the Brazilian pepper. It's also hanging over onto his roof. That's going to eventually start to rotten out his roof. So it'll be in his best interest to take it down. It'll save his roof in the long run.
So, sir, do you understand what you need to do to come into compliance with these alleged violations?
Yeah. I do.
Okay. Any questions? Because like I told the previous respondent, now's the time to get clarification on what you need to do if you don't understand, or if you're unsure about what the code officer is saying. Let him know, or let me know if you have any additional questions. Did you ask for the 120 days, sir?
I did ask for additional time, yes.
Okay, so you think you can get all this complied within 120 days?
If I had if you could, I don't know, give me a little bit more time, I would appreciate it.
And you understand the two trees that need to be removed? You're
Right,
clear about
and
which two trees those are?
Those are my biggest concerns,
your
is
biggest
trying to get
concern.
someone out
Okay.
to get those trees removed.
And the fence, it's just that portion of the fence, or is there another
No,
portion on the
it
other
actually runs along the side of his neighbor's home,
side? Okay,
right to the back and around the back portion. There is a pool in the back there, so I recommend him not take the fence down because of the pool. So if it needs to replace. It's really bad.
okay.
And if it gets replaced, he's gonna have to pull a permit
Get
to
a
replace
permit,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And the paint, it's just those couple of columns?
Yeah, it's just a couple of columns.
Okay,
I
so
think
it's
it's
not
like
a
4
full-
columns there,
Okay,
2 on one side, 2 on the other. Just
okay,
some paint that's required there.
okay. All right, I'm gonna be consistent with the previous person. I'm gonna give you a little bit more time than the 120 days to make sure you get all the way through the process, because again, the trees are a little bit heavier of a lift in terms of getting somebody out there if you're not gonna do it yourself. And that one tree looks a little bit large, so I'll give you additional time. Anything else you'd like me to hear this morning?
No.
Okay, anything further from the city?
No.
Thank you, sir. All right, in case CE 24031619, I'm going to enter the evidentiary case file into the record. Sir, no objection to the documents being entered?
No, not at this
All
time.
right, I'm going to enter those without any objection from respondent. I'm going to find, based on the signed certified mail as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'm going to find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony from the code officer and from respondent, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-445-4I, 18106G 78-6, and 94-302A4. And I'm going to require the respondent to comply with those code sections within 180 days, or a $50 a day fine will be assessed. So you have 180 days to get all of these items complied. I would recommend starting on the trees as soon as you can, because as you say, that's the heavier of the lift. The other ones are relatively easy.
Yes.
But again, thank you for taking time out of your day to come this morning, so best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Number 1, 730 High Street, CE 24021532. Number 1, 730 High Street.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance, Jay Francis. 730 High Street was cited on 2/29/24. Certified mail and regular mail was sent on 2/29/24. Both the property and City Hall were posted on 4/18/24. An affidavit of postage was completed and placed in the file. I have been in contact with a representative of the property owner, which is Miss Naomi, who's here today. The following violations was observed at the property. 94-302-A-4, fence and wall maintenance. 74-4-C-3, which is overgrowth. 74-4-C-5, which is to clean up the center of the adjoining right-of-way, which is the alleyways at the back. 18-106-G, that's the paint or pressure wash the outdoor structure. 18-106K, 18-106-K, sorry, landscape maintenance. 74-4-E, hazardous waste. And 94-71-C, that's outdoor storage in a residential area. As of this morning, the outdoor storage, overgrowth, and cleaning up of the adjoining right-of-way violations have been complied. All violations are still pending. All other violations, are still pending. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 120 days for the property to enter compliance. If they do not enter compliance, then the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Morning.
Good morning.
And the photographs that are being shown here truthfully and accurately depict the violations you have observed?
Yes, ma'am.
And you took the photographs yourself?
Yes, ma'am.
And I wasn't sure. Those are before and at the original?
Yes, these are the initial inspections.
Initial inspection?
The reinspection was done at 8:45 this morning.
Okay.
It was crunch for a little bit of time.
Of course, very much so. Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. And just so I'm clear, the sections that have complied were 74-4C3, 74-4C5, 94-71C. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, very good. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning. Noemi Abreu.
Okay, and your relation?
It's my son's property,
Okay,
so the mortgage is under his name, but I quit claimed the deed to my brother. That's a long story.
okay.
So,
But do they know you're here today, whoever is the
Yes.
owner? Okay,
Mhm.
and they've authorized you to be here this morning?
yes,
Okay. Okay, so you've heard what the city has said. You've seen the photographs on the screens behind me, the notice documents. Any objection to the documents being entered?
no.
Okay. And you've heard what the city has said. They've indicated that several of the code sections have come into compliance, but a couple are outstanding. 4 in total are outstanding. They're asking me to give you 120 days. Do you think that's enough time to get those items done?
Yes, I think so.
Okay. Let me ask the code officer, what's the hazardous waste? I'm not sure I've
The
seen
tires that was
Okay.
stored on the property.
Tires, old
Yes.
tires? Okay. Do you understand everything that you need to do to get into compliance?
Yes, actually, I mean, those pictures are old because
the first
it
one.
does look a lot better than that now.
Yes, it does.
Okay. So you understand everything you need to do to get
Mhm.
complied?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No.
Okay. Anything else from the city?
No, ma'am.
Just real quickly, Special
Go ahead.
Magistrate, do we have anything in the file with the authorization for her being the for the property, if we could get that at some point.
Okay, that's fine.
I have power of attorney for my son. He's in rehab, and I had to claim the deed to my brother because of another situation that happened.
Sure, we just wanted something in writing, whether an email or a copy of the power of attorney or
That's fine.
something.
I do have the power of attorney with me.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
If we
you.
can have it submitted to the file
Yes,
for
I'll
the
put it in the
record,
file
that'd be
today.
great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you. Anything further?
No, ma'am.
Okay, in case CE 24021532, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent is in violation of sections 94302A4, 18106G, 18106K, and 744E. I'll require respondents to comply within 120 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter. Much like the other folks, thank you for coming this morning. This is a time to get clarification and to get additional time should you need it. I think based on the violations, 120 days is plenty of time, but best
I
of luck
think
to
so.
you.
If not, I'll contact.
As I told the other
him.
respondents, keep in touch with the code officer.
I will.
It's always better to be in touch with them.
Okay,
Okay, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, that's all we have for contested matters. Next case number 2658 Irma Lake Drive, CE 24021510, number 3.
Good morning, City of West Palm Beach Code Compliance Officer Paul McFarland. On patrol of the Riverwalk neighborhood on February 22nd, I observed violations at 2658 Irma Lake Drive. The violations I observed was 18-103-B, roof and foundation in need of repair. The property, as well as City Hall, was posted April 4th. Certified mail and regular mail was sent February 23rd. Certified mail was returned April 17th. However, I have been in contact with the property owner. She has since submitted a permit application for the re-roof. With that being said, she did request additional time to get the roof repair completed. With that being said, city's recommending 90 days to have the permit obtained and 120 days to have the roof repair and roof completed. If not done in that time frame, city's requesting 50 days, $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
And you may have testified to this, I'm sorry. Have you been in contact with the property owner?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and she was aware of the hearing, or he or she was aware of the hearing today?
Yes, ma'am.
Did she indicate to you as to why she wouldn't be here?
No.
No? Okay. And the photographs were being shown, you took those photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that are being alleged today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Can you go back to that affidavit of posting? No, one more to the right. Yeah. Perfect, thank you. And Mr. McFarland, I think at the beginning of your testimony, you indicated that there was a foundation issue. Is that true, or is it just?
No, it's just the roof.
Just the roof, okay.
That's the way it's,
That's your
the
code
code is
section.
worded.
Okay, very good. So all that they need to do is repair or replace the roof as shown in the
Yes, ma'am.
photographs there. Okay. And 90 days, is that a reasonable amount of time to get the permit issued? in
Yes,
terms of
because it's
city
already going through the
processing?
process.
Okay. Okay. And then your 120 days for completion, does that include inspections as well?
No, I'm not including inspection. I just want to see the re-roof
So I
done.
see the roof done in
Yes.
120 days. Okay, very good. Anything further?
No, that's it.
Okay, in case CE 24021510, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the evidentiary case file as well as the testimony of city staff that the respondent's in violation of section 18103B. I'll require respondents to comply within 90 days by obtaining the required building permit and comply within 120 days by having completed the roof repair work. In the event of non-compliance of either of those, a fine of $50 a day will be assessed.
Thank you.
Number 4, 5600 North Flagler Drive, 2102, CE 24021400.
City of West Palm Beach, Robert Watkins, code officer. This property was cited on February the 5th. Certified mail was sent February the 5th. Certified mail was received on March the 8th and signed for. City Hall and the property were both posted on February the 6th. This property was cited for a certificate of use and the BTR, the business tax receipt for the rental. As of yesterday, none of the items have come into compliance. The city is requesting a one-time fine of $250 for both of them.
So is that $250 for each or both?
For each $250.
$250 each, okay.
Nothing further from the city.
I guess, what's the evidence that the property is being rented?
The tenant was there after I posted, I knocked on the door, and the tenant was like, oh yeah, I called the landlord and told him, but he hasn't called me back. I also sent an email and called myself, so when the tenant answered the door, it was more than what I needed to know that it was being rented.
Okay, very good. All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
No, nothing. Okay, in case CE 24021400, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file into the record as composite exhibit 1. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed as well as the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the evidentiary case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 22441 and 2232A. I'll assess a one-time fine in the amount of $250 for violation of section 22-441, and similarly a one-time fine in the amount of $250 for violation of section 2232A.
Number 5, 650 59th Street, CE 24021391.
City of West Beach, Code Officer Robert Watkins. This property was cited on February the 5th. Certified mail was sent February the 5th. Certified mail was delivered and signed for on February the 15th. City Hall was posted along with the property on February the 6th. This property was cited for outdoor storage and the business tax receipt for the rental license. As of yesterday, the only thing that came into compliance was the outdoor storage. The city's request, this I've had correspondence with the homeowner. I made him aware that it's due every year at the same time. I haven't heard from him in over 30 days with this one. So the city is requesting for the business tax receipt a renewal of $50, 10 days for compliance at $50 per day after.
And and how do you know that it's being rented?
The tenants are there, and I spoke to the homeowner because he did some renovations and stuff before, and we know that there's tenants in the home.
And they had previously applied for a rental?
Yes, he has a
before?
rental license and everything last year. I let him know that's due every year because last year we went through the same issue with him in renewals, and he was expecting the city to send an email letting him know that it's time for renewal along with mail. And I told him it doesn't work that way. It's up to his diligence to do his renewal every single year.
Okay.
So it's like every year we go through the same thing where it takes a certified letter to come and then he'll pay it and he wants to dispute the days that it was out of compliance and that he didn't know, but we go through the same thing every year.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further from the city.
And you said compliance within 10 days or $50 a day?
Yes, ma'am.
And 10 days is enough time to get through the BTR process?
Just to pay the bill. That's what I do.
Just to pay. Oh, that's all he has to do?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that's certainly reasonable. Okay, and you said outdoor storage is totally complied, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. In case CE 240-21391, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent's not present. Based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, I'll find that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the evidentiary case file and the testimony of the city code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 82-144. And I'll require a respondent to comply within 10 days or face a $50 a day fine.
Number 6, 623 33rd Street, CE 240-11290.
Good morning. I wasn't here when everybody was sworn.
Very good, sir. Thank you. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Good morning. Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement.
Morning, I'm sorry. Can you just
Sorry.
speak up a little bit louder? Thank you so much.
Is this better?
Yes.
City of West Palm Beach, Code Enforcement Officer, Jesus Mendiola. The property at 623 33rd was cited on January 16, 2024. It was originally a complaint. I investigated on January 12, 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on February 5th, 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on January 16, 2024. Certified mail was signed for. I did have contact with the property owner's son. He was the one that was doing the work, trying to clean up the property. The property was cited for 78-6-2. They're missing the address characters in the back in the alleyway. 94-445-4-I, which is a prohibited tree. The Queensland umbrella, which is number 6, which is out in the front of the property. He started to cut it down, but hasn't finished getting rid of the tree. And also 74-4-C-5, which is the alleyway maintenance. There's a lot of overgrown landscape in the back and a lot of trash and debris, and it needs to be trimmed down and maintained. 94-302-A-3, which is the fence permits. So all that fencing that was put up, there's no permits, or he hasn't applied yet. As of yesterday, all the violations are still in violation. The city is requesting an additional 60 days to gain compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, thank you. And the photographs that we just saw, did you take those personally?
Yes.
And those truthfully and accurately depict the observation of the violation you're alleging at this
Yes.
time? And did you speak with the owner at any point?
No, I spoke with her son. He's the one that is living at the property as well and maintaining and doing all the work. She's an elderly lady, so.
Okay,
The problem they were having, he was trying to apply for the permit as himself, but he is not listed as the owner, so he was not able, so that's why he came yesterday and requested 60 days and to gain compliance so he can get his mom in order to apply for the permits.
okay. Thank you. And did it seem feasible that the mother would be able to, even if she's?
That's why originally he was requesting 2 weeks, but I decided to give 60 days.
Okay,
So it'd be a little bit more time. And also he received a packet on how to do the online in case he wasn't able to come in.
got you. And 60 days, or what's the dollar amount for the fine?
200.
Nothing further from the city special magistrate.
Thank you. There we go. Okay, thank you for that one. And which tree is it that's the prohibited tree?
It's going to be on the left side of the property in the front. That tree right there on the left side, that one, yeah.
Oh, that one right there, so a smaller tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had started cutting down, but he still hasn't finished.
Okay, so that's already partially cut down from what
Yeah.
it was. Okay, very good. And he requested the 60 days, is that what I heard you say?
Yep.
He
Well, he had
originally
really-
requested 2 weeks and you bumped it up?
Yeah, to 60 days to give him enough time to to apply for the permits and go
Okay.
through the process.
Okay, anything further?
Nope.
All right, in case CE 24011290, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed, as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file that the respondent's in violation of sections 78-6-2, 94-445-4. Is that an I? Is that 4I?
Yeah.
Okay, 74-4C5 and 94-302A3. I'll require respondents to comply within 60 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Next case number 7, 632 33rd Street, CE 2401125.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 632 33rd Street was cited on January 17, 2024. I discovered it while on patrol on January 12, 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April 4th, 2024. Certified mail was sent on February 14, 2024. It was signed for. I have had no contact with the property. The property was cited for 94-445-4-I, which is a prohibited tree, Brazilian pepper, which is number 2. There's still a stump in the ground, which hasn't been removed yet. 94-302-A-3, which is a fence permit. The fence was installed sometime between 2015, 2019. And there's no permits in our system or any application. And also 74-4-C, that's 5, which is the alleyway maintenance. There's still some overgrown and dead vegetation in the alleyway that needs to be trimmed and picked up. And as of yesterday, the property is still in violation of all of them. The city is requesting an additional 40 days to gain compliance, or $150 a day.
You said 40 days?
Yes.
And you're wanting them to get a permit for the fence?
Yes, the fence, as in some of the pictures you will see where, through the Google Maps, where I found out that the fence was installed, but there was never a permit they applied for or obtained.
Okay. And have you, the property is occupied, correct?
Yes, they're renting it.
I'm sorry?
They're renting it.
Okay, they're renting, and do they have a permit for renting?
Yes.
For rental? And were you able to speak with the property owner?
No. They were cited for other violations, but they had complied those other violations.
Okay, and the pictures that, the photographs were being shown, you took those photographs?
Yes.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations that are being alleged today?
Yes.
Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Okay, thank you. With that, for the record, in case CE 2401125, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. Can I see the affidavit of posting? Perfect. Okay, perfect. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed, as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent is in violation of sections 94-445-4I, 94-302-A3, and 74-4C3. I'll require compliance within 40 days, or a $150 a day fine will be assessed.
Number 8, 2304 Spruce Avenue, CE 24031621.
Good morning, Jesus Mendiola, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 2304 Spruce was cited on March 18, 2024. Discovered violations while on patrol, discovered on March 15, 2024. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April 4th, 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on March 18, 2024. It was signed. I did have contact with the property owner. I did go to the property and showed him how to comply the violations. the violations that we cited was 18-106B, excessive growth. He has overgrown plants and grass on the left side of his property. 94-302-8-4, which is a fence repair. He has a fence that's leaning. 74-4-C-4, which is trim hedges. He still has some hedges that are coming onto the roadway. He had other ones on the other side of the property, but it was trimmed down. 18106A, which is clean sanitary. He has a lot of trash and debris, dead vegetation all along the property. And the hedges need to be cleaned up. As of yesterday, all the violations are still present. The city is requesting additional 30 days to gain compliance or $150.
And you took those photographs?
Yes.
And those photographs truthfully and accurately depict the allegations of the violations being presented today?
Yes.
And were you able to make contact with the property owner?
Yes. He's the one that we came to agreement with 30 days.
Okay, so yes?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
And you said comply within 30 days, or what was the fine?
150.
150. And she just asked you, you said the respondent agreed to the 30 days, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Can I see that affidavit of posting when you get a second? I think I missed it the first time. Perfect, thank you. All right, in case CE 2403-1621, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent is in violation of sections 18106B, 94302A4, 744C4, and 18106A. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or a $150 a day fine will be assessed.
Number 10, 815 Briggs Street, CE 24031617.
Richard Pasmino, Code Officer for City of West Palm Beach. 815 Briggs Street was cited on March 15th. Certified mail was sent out March 18th. It was signed and received on March 20th. In addition, both the property and the City Hall were posted on March 18th. The affidavit of posting was completed then and turned in. It also indicates that notice violation, notice of hearing was sent via first-class mail. This property was cited for multiple issues. It was reported by a tenant who was living there at the time. So the violations that were found were 18103G, a plumbing issue for the draining of a washing machine. That has been complied. 18103F, exterior porch and deck in the rear, that has been complied. 94-6, restrictions upon land use. That was for, the property was being rented just like a room. They separated part of the house. That has been complied. 18103E, exterior doors and exterior walls. That has been complied. 944462, landscape maintenance, specifically a dead tree stump in the front yard. That is not complied. That still exists today. 18103C, interior ceiling. There was a leak in the room. That is complied. 18103B, exterior roof. There was a tarp on the roof, and the roof is in bad condition and kept dirty and stained. That remains as of today. 18106G, exterior paint. That has complied. 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions. That has complied. And 94302A4, fence maintenance. That has complied. I've been in contact with the owners and the representatives for the owner at this property. I've met them on the property, went over everything. And as I said, as of today, 94-446-2 and 18103B are the remaining violations. The owner plans on patching the roof and cleaning it and removing the tree stump. They asked for a couple days, but the city's recommending 60 additional days to make sure the work is done, or if not, the city's asking for a fine of $150 a day until compliance is achieved.
Okay, thank you. And the photographs being shown here, did you take those personally?
Yes, I did.
And the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the observation of the violations?
Yes, they do.
And for the record, you're saying only out of the 10 listed citation NOVs, only 2 are non-compliant at this time?
Correct, yes. The landscape maintenance and the condition of structure for the roof.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
All right, so they did quite a lot of work.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
And 60 days, you think is reasonable amount of time to get the trees is an easy one, but the roof, 60 days is reasonable on that one?
Yeah, they're saying it's not the whole roof. It's not a whole roof replacement. It's just a patch.
Patch,
so
okay.
I believe 60 days is fine.
Okay, very good. All right, in case CE 24031617, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as Composite Exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on this sign, certified mailing, as well as the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of city code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 94-4462 and 18103B. I'll require respondents to comply within 60 days or $150 a day. Fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Number 11 is complied, 722 Rockland Drive, CE 24041733. Number 12, 807 36th Street, CE 24021527.
Good morning. I'm Code Officer Kay Weaver, City of West Palm Beach. On February 26th of 2024, while checking a complaint at 803 36th Street, I observed several violations at 807 36th Street. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 4th of 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on March 27th, 2024, and it was signed for. The property was cited for 78-6-1, the address number characters which has been complied. Also was cited for 74-4-C-1, hurricane hazard and trimming trees and removing the dead vegetation in the rear and side of the property. Also was cited for 94-7-71-C, outdoor storage, and 18106A, clean and sanitary, removing all debris, trash and debris, trimming, edging, landscaping the swell, sidewalks and everything, also pressure washing. I received an email from the property owner, Mr. Stewart, advising me that his property was complied. I went out and checked the property at the time and still found the property in violation of 94-7-71-C, 74-4-C-1, and 18106A, which I emailed him and informed him. So I have had no other contact other than that. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. When did you revisit the property?
My reinspection pictures show as of yesterday.
Oh,
But then I
yesterday.
also went on the 16th when he told me that he was complied, and I have some pictures showing on the 16th also.
So you went on 4/16th and yesterday for
Yes,
what,
4/30.
30th?
Yes,
Okay. And all three listed violations are still non-compliant, correct?
Yes,
And the photographs were being shown today, you took those?
yes,
And they truthfully and accurately depict the observation you're still alleging are non-compliant today?
yes,
And the recommendation is 30 days or $100?
yes,
And you mentioned that you spoke or you emailed the property owner regarding the fact that there are 3 outstanding violations. Did he or she respond to that email?
After I responded, I had no other contact with him, no.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. A soggy day for re-inspections yesterday, huh?
Yes.
Lots of soggy photos today. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
One question for you on the hurricane hazard. What photo is that?
What he did, that initial, go to my reinspection photos, what he did, in the front, if you're on the front view, he put up, because he does have a permit for a fence, but he has not installed the fence. He put one panel just on the side to block there's, right here, there's a bunch of tiles and debris and foliage from trees and stuff, but there's a bunch of stuff there. So if you go in front of that, you'll see where he has the gate, the fence that he put right there to block that. But you can see all of that from the side view. All of that is still shown. There's also a tree that he started cutting down, I guess, to kind of install the fence. But all of that stuff is still there. He just covered it and just put that gate up to shield right there.
To shield it, okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. All right, in case CE 24021527, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 9471C, 744C1, and 18106A, and I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 13, 803 36th Street, CE 24021517.
Good morning, Kay Weaver with West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. I received a complaint about this property, which is next door to the 807. I responded to this property on February the 26th of 24 and observed several violations. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 4th of 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on April the 4th of 2024, and it was returned. The property was cited for 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view, 74-4-C-4, trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way. This is the 803 36th Street. Yes, ma'am. And 94-71-C, outdoor storage. 18106A, clean and sanitary, pressure washing, and trimming, edging, and removing the debris from the swelling property. 94-487-B-2, restricted vehicle on property. 22-441, rental license, and 22-32A, certificate of use, which they do not have. It's been closed in the system since 2018. I have had contact, I received a phone call on yesterday afternoon, near the close of day, from the property owner, Miss Aisha Wright. She stated that she did not know the property was in this shape or condition. She said she would send someone out to correct the violations, and then she would contact me. She stated that 30 days was enough time for her to bring the property into compliance. So currently, it is still in violation of all the violations listed. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance, or $200 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Although the property owner is stating that 30 days is okay, or she's agreeable to that, do you believe that's a reasonable time to bring all these violations in compliance?
Yes, because most of it is trimming, removing stuff, the outdoor storage and stuff, all that can be done even in a week. It's just a matter of doing it. There's several people that live there that I have, seen in my passing by going, and a lot of it's just where stuff is just being stored and stacked up.
Okay. And the photographs were being shown, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations being alleged today?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further from the city special magistrate.
Was there any progress since your initial inspection?
If those are the wrong photos, that's for 3715 Eastview. It should be for 803. Yes, ma'am. There's some reinspection photos. There were only a couple of things done, like cutting down some of the growth, but they're not doing the entire property.
Okay.
Mainly because this sits on the corner. So surrounding the whole property.
So that's from yesterday again. So all that stuff they're storing outside is still there.
Yeah, that's still there. All that's still there.
Okay.
And even when I went to post it as of yesterday, there's also a cage on the front porch with chickens in it, which it's, yes.
Never a dull day in code enforcement.
Exactly. But yes, all the stuff still remains. And like I said, they tried to do a little stuff, but then it's like nothing was completed.
Okay.
And even with the rain and with all, you see all the weather, it's just sweeping all the trash and stuff into the storm drain and into the street because it's, trash and debris is on the property.
And you said on the COU and the rental portion, they had a previous COU and rental license, but that expired in 18?
It closed in 2018, which I attached a copy of me searching, and it shows 2018, and which I did bring up to her when I spoke to her on the phone. She's saying that, it expired in October of last year, but there's nothing that justifies that. What I have is, it shows 2018.
Did she admit that there were people renting, or have you spoken to tenants?
Yes, ma'am, because I told her where the stuff was mailed, because like I said, she contacted me yesterday, and I'm like, ma'am, I mailed out, I told her the ways we mail and contact. And she said, oh, my address has changed. The one address is the property. The other address, she says she rents that property out also.
Okay.
So she has a whole total different address. But I did advise her to whatever she changes her address to be, to make sure it's changed on Papa, because that's where we send
That's
out
where
the
you're
mailing.
sending your, yeah, okay.
And so we, I clearly explained everything to her and told her, but obviously she has not been checking her property. So that's how it's gotten to this state.
And 30 days that's historically has been more than enough time to get the rental BTR and the COU. Is that still correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
Okay. In case CE 2402-1517, for the record, the respondent is not present. There's the chickens there. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 18106A, 7434A1H, 22441, 744C4, 2232A, 94487B2, and 9471C. I'll require respondents to come into compliance with all of those sections within 30 days, or a $200 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Number 15, 3715 Eastview Avenue, CE 24021380.
Good morning, Kay Weaver, West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. Originally on January 31st of 2024, while riding through my zone, I observed several violations at 3715 Eastview Avenue. After noticing the violations, a courtesy notice was sent out on February the 1st of 2024 with no response from the owner and nothing being done. So I then issued a notice of violation that was sent out on February the 28th. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on April the 4th of 2024. Certified mail was sent to the mailing address listed on PAPA on April the 4th of 2024, and it was signed for. The property was cited for 74-34-A-1-H, trash can in public view. That has been complied. Also, 78-94-C, swells and parkways. That has been complied. 94-71-C, outdoor storage. That has been complied. 18106-A, clean and sanitary, pressure washing. That's the only outstanding violation that has not been complied. I have had no contact with this property owner at all. But they did, like I said, they did work on correcting some of the issues. It's just that one remaining violation. The city is requesting an additional 30 days to gain compliance, so $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
I'm sorry, how much per day?
$100, 30 days.
$100 per day. And so there were additional violations that they've complied with, so
Yes,
it is your opinion that they have received the notice of violation?
yes,
And the only outstanding is 18-106A.
yes. It's just the sidewalks in the driveway. That's the only thing remaining.
And the photographs depicting the driveway, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they accurately and truthfully depict the violations being alleged here today?
Yes, the remaining, yes, ma'am.
But there's been no contact with the property owner?
No.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate?
Okay, thank you. In case CE 24021380, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find, based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for this morning's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 18106A, and I'll require respondent to comply within 30 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 16, 816 31st Street, CE 24021494.
Hey, good morning. Donald Lattimore, Code Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. So the property located at 816 31st Street was cited on February 20th, 2024. This property drew my attention during my routine patrol. There was a property rental sign located in a parkway area. Upon further inspection, the following violations were noted. 94-302-A-3, no fence permit. 22-441, no rental license. And 22-32-A, no COU. So the property was, I found that it was being listed online for rent. As of this Monday, April 25th, as of April 25th, all of the violations are not in compliance. Service was accomplished by certified and first-class mail that was sent on February 21st, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall was posted on February 22nd, 2024. I have been in contact with the property owner, and him and I are working diligently to bring his property into compliance. The main thing that's slowing him down is the lattice fence. This is a historical neighborhood, and it's not something that is allowed in a historical neighborhood. He has submitted the application and applied for the rental license and the COU. The only thing that is pending is my inspection, but I cannot complete the inspection until the fence is brought up to code. So the city is asking for an additional 90 days for compliance, given the fence permit, and then $100 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved. The owner and I agreed on 60 days or $100 per day, but I would like to give him an additional 30 days given that fence permit process.
Okay, thank you. And so you have made contact with the owner, and he or she admits that it is a rental property?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. And regarding the application for the permits, do you know when those were submitted?
So not yet. He had to actually find a contractor to assist with getting the the fence permit, since he would like to rent the property. So a contractor is needed. He found the contractor last week, and the contractor is now starting the process of obtaining a fence permit, but nothing has been submitted as of this morning in the system for the permit.
And what about the rental
So,
license?
so the rental license, the only thing that is stopping him for the rental license at this moment is the code officer, which is myself, to complete an inspection of the property. But if I complete the inspection of the property without a fence permit, it's going to automatically fail.
Okay, so the fence permit is holding up the other compliance with the other things?
Correct.
Okay,
You
so
got
it's
it.
not necessarily you, we need the fence permit first. And you stated he just got a contractor on that issue.
That is correct. Yep.
Okay. All right, and the photographs, you took those?
Yes.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the allegations, the violations being alleged today?
Yes.
And you did your reinspection on April 25th?
Correct.
Why not April 30th like everybody else? No, I'm just kidding. Nothing further, city, special magistrate, nothing further.
Thank you. In case CE 24021494, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the affidavit of posting in the case file, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll note for the record that the respondent is not present. I'll find, based on the testimony of the code officer as well as the photographs in the case file, that the respondent's in violation of sections 2232A, 94302A3, and 22441, and I'll require respondents to comply within 90 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Number 17, 821 35th Street, CE 24031651.
All right. Good morning again. Donald Lattimore, code officer for the city of West Palm. The property located at 821 35th Street was cited on March 25th, 2024, due to outside storage that I observed during a routine patrol. This is a vacant lot property. Just want to make you all aware of that. So upon my initial inspection, the property was found to be in violation of the following. 18106-I, which is litter, trash, and debris. 94-71-C, outside storage. As of April 29th, both violations are not in compliance. Service was accomplished by certified and first-class mail sent on March 26, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall was posted on March 27th, 2024. I have not been in contact with the property owner at all. The city is asking for an additional 30 days for compliance and $100 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
I'm sorry, how much per day?
$100.
$100. And the photographs being shown today, you took those?
Yes.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations being alleged today?
Yes.
And I see the posting, there's not been any contact made with the property owner, correct?
Correct.
And is the property owner, and you said the property is vacant. On Papa, is there a separate address listed for the property owner?
I have to look at the Papa.
Let's see.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
So this is just a little extra legwork that I plan on doing, since the address is located within my patrolling area on Papa. I plan on trying to stop by as well, to see if I can get in contact with someone, since the address listed on Papa is literally across the street from the vacant lot, just to let them know what's going on, since I haven't made any contact. Just try to take a little extra step to let them know.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. In case CE 24031651, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. Based on the affidavit of posting, I'll find that the city had good service for today's hearing. And you said that the mailing address for the corporate entity is right across the street?
Yes, it's in my fellow code officer KT's zone, so I'll just get permission from her to cross the street to see if I can make communication with the property owner that way.
So that would suggest that they should know. My concern was because it's a vacant lot, a lot of times people put things there that people don't know about, but if they're right across the street, they would be seeing what's going on. So
Right.
hopefully you make contact, but regardless, you have good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the based on the photographs and the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 9471C and 18106I. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Number 18, 1111 35th Street, CE 24041746.
All right, Donald Lattimore, code officer for the city of West Palm. The property located at 1111 35th Street was cited on April 4th, 2024, after reviewing my assigned list of non-compliant rental properties. The property was found to be in violation of the following: 22-32-A certificate of use that's expired, 22-44-1 rental license expired. And this is also a repeat violation, so 26-35-B is the code used for the repeat violation. The reference case for the repeat violation, for the record, is CE 210-20094. Service was accomplished by certified and first-class mail sent on April 5th, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on April 8th, 2024. I have been in contact with the property owner. We have spoken over the phone in the past, and they are aware and are renting the property. As of April 9th, 2024, the rental license and COU violations are in compliance, so they did comply. However, due to the repeat violation, the city is asking for a one-time $250 fee.
Okay. Nothing from the city at this point.
Thank you. Just a question on the underlying case that you referenced, that starts with a 21. So is that a 2021 case?
Yes, it was open, for the record, February 4th, 2021.
And the order finding violation was a 2021 order, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, in case CE 24041746, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1. Without objection, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the testimony of the code officer, as well as the documents in the case file, that the respondents were in repeat violation of sections 2232A, 22441, and 2635B, but came into compliance on April 9th. Given the repeat violation, I'll assess a one-time fine in the amount of $250.
Number 19, 840 32nd Street, CE 24031607.
Donald Lattimore, code officer for the city of West Palm Beach. The property located at 840 32nd Street was cited on March 14th, 2024, in response to an email complaint regarding an illegal, unpermitted fence. Upon my initial inspection, the property was found to be in violation of the following: 94-302-A-3, that is fence permit, 74-34-A-1-H, trash container in public view. 74-4-A-3, garbage, litter, and refuse. 78-1, obstruction of the right-of-way. Service was accomplished by certified and first-class mail sent on March 14th, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on March 18th, 2024. I have not been in contact with the owner of the property, but I did speak with the tenant in person on March 18th, 2024. As of April 29th, 2024, there are no records of the owner or tenant starting the fence permit process. All of the other violations have been complied, so the only one that's remaining is the fence permit.
Okay.
The city is asking for an additional 60 days, 60 days for compliance, or $100 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. And so it's only, the fence is up, they just didn't get a permit, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you have not had contact with the owner, but in speaking with the tenant on March 18th, as you testified, did they have any contact with the owner?
Yes, they did have contact with the owner. I walked them around the property to show them the violations to comply, and they did inform me that they let the owner know as well. To my knowledge, I do believe that the fence is something that the tenant put up, not the owner. Just during our conversation, he made it seem like he put up the fence. So both the owner and the tenant are aware that a fence permit is needed.
Okay. And the photographs depicting the fence, truthfully and accurately depict the violation being alleged, correct?
That is correct.
And you stated the owner knows that, and how do you know that?
If you look at the pictures, there's a chain link fence on the property as we speak. That fence has been cited in the past for repair. The owner did not repair the fence, and the property is currently running fines because of it. Once the tenant moved into the property, the tenant put up the white fence. That white fence is not permitted in the historical neighborhood. It needs to be a different type of fence. That's what also let me know that the fence was put up without a permit. So the owner is aware of what's going on the property with the fences, the two of the fences, and that's per the tenant.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Okay. Oh, can you go back up one more? So I see, I was confused. So the fence that was not permitted is the white fence? And
that is
white
correct.
fence is not allowed, so that's how you know. But they do have both. So the chain link fence is either permitted or you're not concerned with that for today, correct?
Not concerned with that one for today.
Okay, very good. All right, in case CE 2403-1607, I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. For the record, the respondent is not present. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 94302A3, and I'll require a respondent to comply within 60 days or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Number 23605 Eastview Avenue, CE 24031639.
All right, Donald Lattimore, Code Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. The property located at 3605 Eastview Avenue was cited on March 21st, 2024 in response to an email complaint regarding outside storage and landscape excessive growth. Upon my initial inspection, the property was found to be in violation of 18-106-K, 74-34-A-1-H, 74-4-B-1, 78-94-C. All of those violations have been complied. The property was also found to be in violation of 94-71-C, which is outside storage. That too has been complied. However, this is a repeat violation. So 26-35-B is a repeat violation for outside storage. In the case that I would like to reference is CE 21110318. Service was accomplished by certified mail and first-class mail sent on March 22nd, 2024. Certified mail was signed for on March 25th, 2024. In addition, both the property and City Hall were posted on March 22nd, 2024. I have been in contact with the owner of the property, Mr. Larry Fields. Per the owner, a medical emergency prevented him from properly managing the property. All violations were complied on April 23rd, 2024. However, the city is asking for a one-time fee of $100 for the repeat violation 94-71-C. The owner and I, we both met outside of his property and walked around the property. There's numerous things that he also pointed out that he would like to get taken care of. But he did inform me that the medical emergency is what set him back. So he was asking on the repeat violation if there's anything that I can do to assist, because he was nervous about the amount of fines that he can accumulate per day. And we both discussed and agreed upon $100, if that's okay with the magistrate.
Okay, nothing further from the city.
All right, thank you. And just so I'm clear, you're only requesting a fine for the repeat violation of 9471C, is that right?
That is correct. I strongly believe that if it wasn't a medical emergency, that he would have taken care of his property. To see the amount of work that he completed on his own while he was in the recovery process let me know that he would have, in my opinion, taken care of the property.
Okay, very good. And the underlying case that you referenced again starts with the 21, so that's the 2021 case, is that right?
That is correct, yes.
The order finding violation was from 2021?
Yes, and that, the notice of violation was, I have it. The notice of violation was November 22nd, 2021, and the hearing was on February 2nd of 2022.
Okay, so the order actually would have been a 2022 date, but either way, we're within the 5 years, is what I just wanted to make sure. Okay, anything further from the city?
No.
All right, in case CE 24031639, for the record, the respondent is not present. First I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent is or was in repeat violation of section 9471C and 2635B, but since complied on April 23rd. Finding the repeat violation, I will assess a one-time fine of $100 for that repeat violation.
Number 21, 1210 North Dixie Highway, CE 24031635.
Good morning, Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property was cited and certified mail was signed on 3/26/24. City Hall, and property was posted on 4/15/2024. And the property was actually cited on 3/20/2024. It was cited for the following violations: 74-4C3, overgrowth; 74-34A2D, commercial enclosure, which is the dumpster. It was also cited for 94-404I, which is the removal of obsolete sign. I've had no contact with this property owner. This is a commercial business. This is the old Burger King on North Dixie Highway. I'm getting my cities mixed up. I'm asking for 30 more days or $150 per day. This property owner is an out-of-state owner, so I'm going to give the additional days for the violations to come into compliance. It is becoming a nuisance to the city, being that we are establishing areas for the homeless to sit, bring up extra debris on the property, and the dumpster enclosure is actually full of debris, garbage, and trash. So I'm hoping that the 30 days additional it'll come into compliance, or the $150 per day after.
Morning,
Morning.
thank you. It may be another case, but somehow, did we have this case recently?
No,
No?
it was another
Oh,
210.
Burger King? Another Burger
Yeah,
King?
it was for another property of theirs.
Oh, okay,
It's
well,
two separate addresses.
okay.
Yeah, but on Dixie.
We gotta get Burger King somehow.
This is the actual building side of it. The other one
Okay.
was a vacant lot.
Okay. And you're requesting the additional 30 days
Yes, ma'am.
to try to make contact? Do we have any?
We have had no contact, but they did sign the cert mail. So
Okay.
they are well aware of the issues on the property. They just have not sent out anyone to respond to the violations. They signed the mail on 3/26/24.
And the photographs that were being shown today, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations being alleged today?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
Thank you. Could I see that affidavit of posting? Perfect, thank you. And the code section, you said removal of obsolete signs. I think I heard you say 94404I. Is that supposed to be F?
It looks like an I on this page. It may be a F, Special Magistrate. It's got some it didn't print out well on the
There it is.
agenda.
Okay, on your notice, 94404F. Okay.
Very good, thank you.
All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, thank you. In case CE 24031635, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed for, as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had more than good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94404F, 744C3, and 7434A2D. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or $150 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 22, 1122 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard, CE 24041821.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Cert mail for this property was signed on 4/18/2024, City Hall, and the property was posted on 4/15/2024. I've had no contact with this property owner, and the case was cited on 4/12/2024. The following violations are 18-212A, securing a vacant property, 94-302A4, fence and wall maintenance, 94-402B-25, prohibited portable sign, 78-1, obstruction of right-of-way, sidewalk, 74-4-C, clean up one half of easement to the right-of-way, 74-4C3, overgrowth, and 74-4A3, garbage, litter, and refuge. The only complied violation is the 78-1, the obstruction of the sidewalk, which was a hedge that was overgrown over into the sidewalk. All of the remaining violations are still outstanding. I am asking for 10 more days or $150 per day. This is a local company that owns this property.
And I'm sorry, which violation you stated, for the clarity, for the records, has been complied with?
It's 78-1, obstruction of right-of-way.
Okay. And what was the obstruction? The hedge you
Hedge,
said?
hedge
Okay.
growing into the sidewalk.
And so that was remedied?
Yes, they cut the hedge back off the
Okay.
sidewalk, and
So they
They-
have some knowledge of the notice
they
of
have
violation?
knowledge. They signed the cert mail on 4/18/2024.
And the photographs, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the violations being alleged today?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What is this site? Is it a construction site?
It was an old car wash, and a couple of months back, it had a bad fire. So partially the building is demolished due to the fire, and the remaining debris is on that property. And the fencing around that property is not secure, so we get a lot of extra housing on the property for us, the homeless. And they're just not maintaining that property at all.
And you said you've had no contact with them, right?
Not this time, no contact at all. They usually comply, get it done, and they don't have to come, but they didn't do it this time.
And you think 10 days is a reasonable amount of time for them to correct these violations?
Well, by the case being cited on 4/12, and they did come out and started mowing, cutting back the hedge and doing some mowing. I think 10 days is well within its time frame.
And it
And
looked
they
like-
are local,
And I'm sorry?
and they are local.
Okay.
They're right here in West Palm Beach.
And the securing of the vacant, it looks like, is that all they have to do is fix that hole in the fence there?
Yes, the hole in the fence needs to be secured, and the front of the property is where they have, did chain link, lock the gates to the property. But the back of the property is still open.
Okay, so, but it's not a matter of putting up an entire fence
No,
or
ma'am.
securing the whole thing, they just have portions that have come down or are in disrepair
Or
that
were
need to be
taken down.
corrected?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 24041821, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the certified mail having been signed, as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94-402-B25, 74-4C5, 74-4C3, 74-4A3, 18-212A, 94-302A4, and I'll require respondents to comply within 10 days, or a $150 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 23, 816 13th Street, CE 24031680.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This violation was written from a property owner complaint. This is in Zone 7, which I'm trying to handle some areas up there in Zone 7. It's an unmanned zone at this time. Certified mail was signed on 3/30/2024. Property was posted and City Hall posted on 4/15/2024. The case was cited on 3/27/2024. I've had no contact with the property owner, and I'm asking for what violations are: 18106A, cleaning unsanitary conditions; 74-4A3, garbage, litter, and refuge; 74-4C3, overgrowth; and 74-4C5, cleaning up one half of easement to the right-of-way. The only complied violation is the 74-4C3, which is the overgrowth. They did come and mow the lot, but the debris, I don't know if they piled the debris up at each end and was expected to come back and get it, but as of yesterday, the debris is thrown throughout the lot. The entire lot has the debris just thrown out. So I'm just assuming that they did pile it up and others came and disturbed the piles. So I'm asking for 20 days on this one, only because this is an out-of-state property owner, and I'm asking $100 per day after. I think they're out of state. They might be out of county.
And it's a vacant lot?
It's a vacant lot, yes.
And you took the photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh, and the
Oh,
photographs.
that's yesterday, okay.
Yeah,
Excuse me?
I was like,
Thanks.
ooh, the photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations we're
Yes, ma'am.
discussing?
They do.
And even though it's an out-of-state property owner, do you believe they are aware, they have actual notice of what's going on? Or did they just mow the lawn as customary? I don't know.
No, it's not customary to mow the lawn because it's always overgrown.
Okay.
But since they did mow it, I'm assuming that they were notified and understood the violations. And I'm still guessing that they did pile those piles up for removal and did not come back in time before they got actually thrown about the property. So with them, whomever they got to come and do the mowing, hopefully they'll go back by and see that that property is in need of cleaning up for us, the debris.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, anything further?
No,
Nothing
ma'am.
further.
All right, for the record, the respondent is not present in case C 24031680. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find, based on the certified mail having been signed as well as the affidavit of posting, that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find, based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of section 744A3, 744C5, 744C3, and 18106A. I'll require respondents to comply within 20 days, or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
I think the overgrowth is complied, right?
Excuse me?
Wasn't the overgrowth complied? Or no?
Did I misspeak? Was one of those code sections complied? Was 744C3
The
complied?
744C3 is complied. The overgrowth was cut.
Okay, let me correct the record on that one then. So the respondent is in violation of only section 744A3, 744C5, and 18106A. Thank you for the correction. I circled it on the wrong case.
That's okay.
Number 24, 804 8th Street, CE 24031638.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Certain mail was returned to us. Property in City Hall was posted on 4/15/2024. Property was cited for 18106A, clean and sanitary conditions, 18105A, non-residential property for its repairs being weather tight, 744C5, cleaning up one half of easement to the right of way, 18106B, excessive growth, 94442E, landscaping of swell, and 744C3, overgrowth. I did speak with the property manager, and she was not aware that they actually managed this property, first off, and she did send out her contractor to mow the lot itself, but it was other things on the lot that needed tightening up. The easement, she did not bring into compliance for as the overgrowth in the easement. She did not saw the swell. The excessive growth is also in the easement. And the non-residential structure is a knee wall that needs repairing or removing. And that is still out of compliance. And the overall condition of the property for us is unsanitary. The swell has garbage and trash on it. So I'm asking for another 30 days and $150 per day if not brought into compliance. This property manager is very good at keeping up property that she actually knew she was responsible for. And this is one that just got out of sight for her, or she just didn't realize it. So I'm pretty sure she's going to take care of it. In 30 days, I think is enough time to go in and get the rest complied.
Thank you. When did you speak with the property manager?
I spoke to her in March. I think it was the 21st, the same day I was writing the violation.
And when was the last time you did your, what date did you do the reinspection?
Yesterday.
Okay. And so since March, she was notified. They haven't done much since yesterday?
She had the lot itself mowed,
Okay.
and it was extremely overgrown. I mean, it was waist high. And this is also in zones, in my zone, but she was unaware that she managed this property, and how that particular lot she wasn't aware of it, I'm not sure. I don't know if she took it over at one point in time and just didn't remember.
No, I get it. She wasn't aware up until you spoke with her on the 18th of
Yes,
March.
yeah.
But that's like 6 weeks later, and they only mowed the lawn, and
Yep.
you're giving 30 days, and you believe that's reasonable?
Yeah, I do, because the wall itself is an easy repair. She can go there, and it's only a large crack, which has one portion of, if you go back to the picture, has one portion of the wall leaning, and it's only a knee wall, so it's nothing major. And cleaning up the easement should be a breeze, and putting sod in the swell, you can do that tomorrow. So 30 days is enough time for her to
Okay.
get all that
We
completed.
have technical difficulties?
We was having that this morning too.
Okay.
See, okay. That's the knee wall, if you were wondering what a knee wall is.
Okay.
And it has a crack. At that first palm tree, you'll see a large crack there. And it's leaning slightly, so it's no major nothing to do to the knee wall. Okay.
And you took those pictures,
Yes, ma'am.
photographs?
Yes, ma'am.
And those photographs truthfully and accurately depict the violations being addressed today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Nothing further from the city special magistrate.
Okay, thank you. Let me just look through these. Nothing has complied, is that right?
Nothing, because
Okay,
the
very
overgrowth
good.
is still on the easement side. No, those are wrong, so move on. I touched the wrong ones at that point.
Oh, those aren't the right? That
Not
looks
the
like a
green
different
wall,
property.
the white dirty wall was the wall.
Okay.
I mean, this morning that EPO was messing up bad. It's doing what it wants to do. That's the easement behind the property.
Okay, perfect. Last one. Okay, perfect. All right, in case CE 24031638, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code enforcement officer that the respondent's in violation of sections 74-4C5, 18106B, 94-442E, 74-4C3, 18106A, and 18105A. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or a fine of $150 a day will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
Number 25, 635 13th Street, CE 24031657.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. This property, cert mail was returned to us. Property was posted in City Hall on 4/15/2024. The property was cited for 18106I, litter, trash, and debris, 94302A4, fence maintenance, 7441C1, hurricane hazard, 74-4C3, overgrowth, 74-4C4, tree obstruction of right-of-way, bush tree. 74-4C5, which is cleaning up one half of easement to the right-of-way. I have had no contact with this property owner, and this is a complaint from the neighboring property of the vacant lot. And the property was cited on 3/25/24. I'm asking for 30 more days. Nothing's been done to the property, or $150 per day. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And you took the photographs being shown today?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the allegations of the violations being discussed today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you've made no contact with the property owner?
No contact. Mm-mm.
Nothing further from the city?
Thank you. And just so I'm clear, what's the hurricane hazard?
The hurricane hazard are the overgrown trees that's overhanging the neighbor's property,
Okay.
and that's the hazard.
Okay. And the fence, that's the chain link fence?
Yes, ma'am.
And there are portions that are bent or falling
Yes.
over?
Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see right there, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in case CE 24031657, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case file as composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file, as well as the testimony of the code officer, that the respondent's in violation of sections 94302A4, 744C1, 744C3, 744C4, 744C5, and 18106I. I'll require respondents to comply within 30 days, or $150 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you.
And lastly, number 26, 606 Second Street, CE 24031634.
Officer Luster, West Palm Code. Cert mail was signed on 3/26/24. Property was posted in City Hall on 4/15/2024 for the following violations: 94454C and 78-1, obstruction of right-of-way. That is complied, the obstruction of right-of-way. This 94455-4C, this is a vacant lot that's in need of straw, hay, or grass to be put in the open dirt areas. I have met with the property owner on site on 4/2/2024, and they're still in need of doing the sod, grass, sod, straw, or hay. So I'm asking for 20 more days or $100 per day after. And the 78-1 was due to the sand washing down off of the lot over the sidewalk and into the road. But the actual, that has been taken care of because they came and put like a barrier of shell rock at the lot side, and they also removed all of the sand off of the sidewalk and/or road. So that portion is complied.
And you believe the property owners did that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, he's the property manager for the property, so I'm assuming that they did do that. He said that he was gonna send out a contractor to have it done.
Okay.
So they're working on it diligently.
Oh, so you did make contact. I missed that,
Oh,
sorry.
okay. On 4/2/2024, we met on the lot.
Okay.
Mhm.
And the photographs, you took those?
Yes, ma'am.
And they truthfully and accurately depict the allegations being, of the violations being discussed today?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Special Magistrate.
And I may have missed it, so excuse me if I did, but your service, how did you get service for today?
Our service was, cert mail was signed, and I posted the property on 4/15 and City Hall,
Thank you.
2024.
All right, and I saw the affidavit of posting.
Mhm.
And the photos, it looks like, oh, there's a signature there, okay. It looks like, are they using the site as a pass-through or something?
They were using the site. This site is at Banyan and Rosemary,
Uh-huh.
right there at the light. It's a huge lot. And the new apartment complex, the Grand, that was built and finished, I think, sometime last year. But they were actually losing a lot to build the Grand. So that's why it's a full dirt area on the lot, because heavy equipment, all kinds of stuff was stored on the property. But they had permission to use it, so that wasn't a factor. But once they completed the Grand, they did not satisfy the lot for us making it whole, for us putting sod, straw, hay, and removing the dirt from the sidewalk and road. So that's why.
So that use of the property is now done. That was my worry. They're gonna put some straw or sod or whatever, but if they continue to drive over it,
No,
that's
no,
not
no,
gonna,
it's
but
not
they're
being
done with
used as
using
a,
it.
that
Okay,
is, no, it's not.
okay, perfect. All right, anything further?
No, ma'am.
All right, in case CE 240-31634, for the record, the respondent is not present. I'll enter the city's evidentiary case files composite exhibit 1 without objection. I'll find based on the signed certified mailing as well as the affidavit of posting that the city had good service for today's hearing. I'll find based on the photographs in the case file as well as the testimony of the code officer that the respondent's in violation of section 94-445-4C, and I'll require respondents to comply within 20 days or a $100 a day fine will be assessed for each day thereafter.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you, you too.
That completes the first part of the agenda.
And the next one is scheduled for 11:30? Okay, very good. So we'll recess until 11:30.
West Palm TV, 30 seconds, please.
All right, good morning. I'm going to call to order the other matters session of the City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement hearing. Today is May 1st. It is 11:31. My name is Amity Barnard. I'm the special magistrate for today's hearing. First thing I'm going to do is swear anybody in who's here to testify on any items on today's agenda. If you could stand and raise your right hands for me. If you're here to speak on any item, stand and raise your right hands. Are you all here to stand? Yep, stand, raise your right hands. Sir in the back, stand and raise your right hand. Everybody right hands. Ma'am, your other hands. There you go. There you go. Do you all swear from to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. A little bit about process. When you hear your case called, come to the podium here to my right. The city code enforcement staff will be at the podium to my left. They'll present a little bit of background on the case, and then you'll get an opportunity to explain to me why the fine should be reduced. At the end of that, I'll make a final ruling, and you will get an order that reflects that either when you walk out the door or in the mail. With that, I'll turn it to the city to call its first case.
Is anyone here for 706 13th Street? Okay, we'll call that one after. Okay, number 28, 1152 Okeechobee Road, CE 17110438. Number 28, 1152 Okeechobee Road.
Right to that podium there, sir. Thank you.
Good morning, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 1152 Okeechobee Road was originally cited November 2017. They were cited for trash and debris, their garbage can placement being in view of the public, their fence needed to be repaired, their trash receptacle enclosure needing repair, paint needed on the structure, as well as exterior repairs needed to the walls and the parking lot, and the parking lot also needed to be striped. This went to a magistrate hearing February 7th, 2018. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of April 9th, 2018. That ran for 374 days at $100 a day for a total of $37,400, and this was complied April 18th, 2019. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting. It is under the same owner. There's 24 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests, we actually have an agreement beforehand, magistrate, to reduce this to $5,000 payable within 60 days.
All right, your name, sir?
My name is Vincent Caraccio,
Okay, and you're
representing the landlord. I was
representing the landlord.
Managing the property as of 2019.
Okay, you've heard what the city has said. You're in agreement with that reduction amount?
Yes.
And your name, sir?
Stanley Klett. I'm the attorney for the property owner, Vivian Montgomery.
He needs to be sworn in, your magistrate.
Yes, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear from to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right, thank you. All right, so you actually represent the property owner?
Yeah, I'm the attorney for yes, I'm the attorney for the property owner.
Okay, very good. So what the city code officer said, I think as you were maybe walking in, is there was mutual agreement to reduce the fine to $5,000 payable within 60 days?
Yes, as a part of those discussions with Officer Marcus Williams.
Okay, and you're in agreement with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Anything further from you, gentlemen?
No, that's it. Thank you.
All right, anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, with that, in case CE 17110438, I'll reduce the previous fine amount from $37,400 to the mutually agreed amount of $5,000 payable within 60 days.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Here's a copy of your order.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And if you don't have anything else on the agenda, you're all free to go. Okay.
Next cases numbers 30 and 36 for 941 McIntosh Street, CE 07050981 and CE 21040355, numbers 30 and 36.
Would you like to hear these both at the same time, magistrate, or you want to take them one at a time?
Go ahead and call them both in, and I'll make separate rulings as I historically do, but
Yes,
go ahead
ma'am.
and call them in at the same time,
Yes,
since I'm
ma'am.
sure the testimony will blur.
Okay. Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The case for 941 McIntosh, case number CE 0705091. This case was originally cited May 2007. There was a red tag issued for construction done without a permit at the property. Apparently, there was a rear structure that was being built. This went to a magistrate hearing August 3rd, 2007. It was ordered for the fine to start as of January 2nd, 2008. This ran for 5,448 days at $150 a day for a total of $817,200. This was complied December 2nd, 2022. It is the same owner. Your magistrate, we do have an agreement beforehand to reduce this amount to $8,000 payable within 1 year. For case number CE 210403555, same address, 941 McIntosh Street. This case was originally cited in April of 2021. They were cited for landscape maintenance, garbage can in view of the public, outdoor storage on the property, trash and debris on the property, pavers that were laid without a permit, and for having multiple expired permits on the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing May 19th, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of July 19th, 2021. This ran for 226 days at $100 a day for a total of $22,600 and was complied March 2nd, 2022. Again, same owner. We do have an agreement beforehand, magistrate, to reduce this lien to $2,000 payable within 1 year.
Thank you. Your name for the record, ma'am?
Lianet Monteagudo.
All right, so you're the property owner.
Yes.
Okay. So you've heard what the code enforcement officer has said. Thank you, sir. All right. So in the first case, the one with the much larger fine, you've heard what the city is saying. He's indicating to me that you have an agreement with the city to reduce the fine. You're in agreement to that $8,000 payable within a year. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then similarly, in the second case, the current $22,600 fine, you're in agreement to reduce that to $2,000 payable within 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Anything else you'd like me to hear?
No.
Okay, easy enough. Starting off easy anyway. All right, in case CE 0705091, I'll reduce the previous fine amount from $817,200 down to $8,000 payable within 1 year. And in case CE 210403555, I'll reduce the previous fine amount of $22,600 again to the mutually agreed amount of $2,000 payable within 1 year. And I didn't say this to the previous respondent, but just keep in mind that if you don't pay within that specified time, the fines revert to the original amount. So a year is plenty of time to pay, but make sure you get it paid within that time, okay?
Okay.
Best of luck to you. And she's got orders there, I believe, for you.
Number 31, 411 El Vedado, CE 21110075. Number 31, 411 El Vedado.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 411 El Vedado was originally cited November 4th, 2021. They were cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use for advertisement of an Airbnb. This went to a special magistrate hearing January 5th, 2022. It was ordered for the fine to start as of February 8th, 2022. This ran for 429 days at $200 a day for a total of $85,800. This was complied April 13th of 2023. It is the same owner. This is their representative, their attorney here today. This case was achieved by way of posting. So the city requests a reduction of 10% of the lien, Your Honor, which would be $8,580.
Thank you. 2 of them for this one. 2 pages, okay. All right, good morning. Your name, sir?
Guy Quattlebaum.
And you're the
An
attorney?
attorney, yes.
Very good, sir. All right, you've heard what the city has said. Go ahead and explain to me why the fine should be reduced.
Yes, we have a little bit of a piling on going on here. My client purchased this house at the end of 2019, used it as an Airbnb, admittedly didn't get the proper licensing, was cited in November. Within 10 days, he obtained the license. So that was complied with. And part of the process of them coming back out to verify that he had complied, they found something else while they were there on inspection about screens. So then this same violation for not having the Airbnb license is the only violation, and they just kept tacking on things to it. And so they spent the next 3 months dealing with and getting the screens and been in constant contact with the permitting of the screens. When they came back for the screens, and they said, well, when we were reviewing your as-built, because he didn't do any construction of his own, they said this was an unpermitted garage enclosure. And so they cited him for that, which then he went immediately into remediation mode, hired people, applicants. And as you know, that's not an easy process to get that approved after the fact, because that's why he bought it, because that was an extra room for his use. Constant contact with the permitting abilities. By the time that he got all of these things finished, the permits were issued in October of 2022. Whether or not, I don't know that he didn't say, hey, I'm finished at that point or not, but they approved the compliance was in April of 2023. So my client did everything that they were supposed to do. They were diligent about it. The 400 days is really, I guess, just a stack on of the original don't have a license for Airbnb. And then when it became, like I said, a screen issue, they fixed the screen issue. And then it became a non-permitting issue. That one took a while because they had to get the electrical and all the other things to get it converted. There's nothing in this record that shows they weren't diligent in doing it. And that's why we asked when we first applied for 2%, which was about $1,700, because that was really the 10-day window where they weren't licensed as an Airbnb. Everything after that has been in compliance with the citations.
Okay. Let me ask the city for any response to that.
So just looking at the case file, magistrate, I believe he's referring to two separate cases. This case was only cited for the rental license and certificate of use violation. And per the officer who initiated the case, Officer Levine, he did turn in an affidavit of non-compliance on February 16th, 2022, saying that they were still out of compliance with the rental license and certificate of use, and that it didn't come into compliance until April 13th of 2023.
And
But
I
that's
guess,
only-
let me ask you, would the issue with the screens, would that have been part of an inspection that had to be done before the rental license or certificate
Correct.
of use could be issued? So that
Correct.
it's not a separate violation, it's just one of the requirements before the city can issue
Correct.
those required licenses?
Yeah, yep, absolutely
Okay.
correct.
How many other violations on this property?
For this owner, just this is the only violation that they received.
Okay. All right, I just wanted to make sure that I understood, because typically, as I understand when the regular cases on regular agendas, there is an inspection that's required as part of the application process to get those licenses. So to your comments about there being identification of new issues, those are all part of the process of getting the
And
rental license and getting the COU. So it's not, I
correct.
just want to make sure the record is clear. It's not that the code enforcement officers are coming up with new things. It's that they can't issue the license until they do an inspection. If there are things that are out of compliance, they can't issue the license.
Well, and the reason I even worded it that way was because when they first cited them, there was no other issues. They came for the inspection, they noticed one thing, which was the screens. They were dealing with the screens. In the interim, while they come back, there was never a mention at that time about any improper permitting, an enclosed, unpermitted work or anything like that. That showed up much later, which
Right.
just elongated this process of having to do nothing. Like I said, my owner, who was just an innocent buyer of this, didn't know that enclosure was unpermitted. And
There's a
then he
saying
has-
about that, sir. There's a saying about the buyers being aware of
Well,
what.
sure, but I think there's an equity to that too, is that he bought it for that reason, assumed, and it wasn't disclosed. There are certain assumptions they're allowed to make as a purchaser.
Right.
And it just happened to be that, and he's not doing it he's not complaining about having to do, well, he's complaining to me about having to do the work, but he's
Right.
not talking about that here, I think, but that just explains the elongation of this particular citation.
Right. No, and I appreciate that. There are a few things within my purview under Chapter 162 to take into consideration. One of them is efforts that you took, or your client took, to get back into compliance. The other is the gravity of the violation, and the other is how many other cases, instances of repeat offenders, if you will, in terms of code enforcement. So it's clear here that this is the only case. It's also clear here that your client did take steps to get into compliance and did that diligently. What I have to weigh here from this seat today is that had they done it in the right order, right, had they applied for the required licenses prior to being cited, there would be no fines accruing in the time that their inspections are required to be done, and there would have been no penalty, if you will, for the time that it takes to get through the process. But that said, I'm certainly willing to reduce the fine. It is generating revenue for your client, so this is a business decision, and there's always, consequences to all decisions. So I have to balance keeping intact the city's code enforcement process, but also being equitable in terms of keeping in mind what you did to get into compliance, or what your client did rather to get into compliance. So with that said, anything further from you, sir?
No, it just, if you could make me look good for my client, I'd appreciate that, and,
That's a fair
no
request.
offense to Mr. Officer Williams over there, but I think that 10% is high.
Understood. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right, and that's a fair request. I appreciate that. I'm not sure that I've heard that one in a fine mitigation hearing, so I appreciate that one. In case CE 211-10075, I'm going to reduce the previous fine amount from $85,800. I'm going to reduce it down to $3,500, payable within how many days do you need? 30 or 60?
60 would be better, Your Honor.
All right, $3,500 payable within 60 days. And I believe she'll give you an order right now. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Next case, number 32708 4th Street, CE 190602424.
Morning, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The address 708 4th Street was originally cited June 21st, 2019. They were cited for clean and sanitary conditions, a roof needing to be pressure washed, outdoor storage that was present at the property, unpaved parking, as well as overgrowth of the yard. This went to a special magistrate hearing September 18th, 2019. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 4th, 2019. That ran for 1,670 days at $100 a day for a total of $167,000. This case was, service was achieved by way of posting. This was done under the previous owner. So in light of that, the city is requesting a reduction to 10%, which is $16,700.
And am I on the right one, 32?
Yeah.
All right, the number on my sheet is a little bit different than the number you said in terms of the fine amount. Is your what's on the agenda here is 143,200, but your number was what?
167,000. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Per community plus, it's 167, not 143. But that may be an EPL issue.
You're gonna check that and let me know which one's correct?
Yes, she's checking now,
Very
make
good.
sure.
While they're doing that, good morning, I think still, sir. Good morning. How are you?
Just finding you.
Good. Your name, sir?
Jack Thompson.
And what's your relation to the property?
I'm 50% owner of the property, which has gone through probate and quite a few other things. Jerry Simpson passed away in 2002 or 2005. I never knew the man, but he was a part of the original warranty deed on the property. So therefore, his name is listed. But if you check property records more thoroughly, you will find that my name is listed, Jack Thompson.
I see that on the property appraiser printout he handed me, so I do see that. Thank you, sir.
And also, the probate judge gave me title of curator for Jerry Simpson, so I am also the speaker for Jerry Simpson as well.
So you are more than allowed to be here today, then? Is that what you're telling me, sir?
Yes.
Very good. All right, so give them a moment just to double check the fine amount. I just want to make sure that I have the correct fine amount for you.
I could say Community Plus doesn't have a comply date. That's why the fine's higher in Community Plus.
Did you hear what Erica said?
You hear?
You guys heard what Erica, could you repeat?
Community Plus doesn't have it as complied, so that's why it's gonna be more in Community Plus.
So the 143 is correct, 142,200?
Yes, ma'am, 143,200 is correct.
So your 10% would be 14,320.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then before I turn to you, sir, how many cases on this property?
Under their ownership, none.
Under
Under
their
the previous ownership, there were a substantial amount of cases.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sir. Explain to me why the fine should be reduced.
I wrote a letter that was dated September 15th after I was notified that there was a problem with the property, and I would like to read this letter.
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. I would like to share with you the unfortunate circumstance I found myself in when I was approached by my friend Charles Jackson. Charles Jackson was the previous owner to purchase 3 of his properties. He indicated that he was given 6 months to live because of his pancreatic cancer. We discussed the terms of the sale. At no time did he indicate to me that there were liens on the property, which I purchased the properties from him around June or July of 2020. So I said, is everything clear and clean on the documents? He said, yes. He said, Jack, I need monies now because my insurance is running out and I need to get medicines that is not approved in the United States. And I said, well, okay. And he said that, I want to live. And I said, well, what can I do? So he said the quickest way to do this is to do the quitclaim deed. And the quitclaim deed was put together and we processed the quitclaim deed. And at no time did Charles say to me that there was any liens and fines on the property. I was notified approximately in September that by Officer Lester. She was truly magnificent in giving me the information that there were liens, that Charles had been notified and things of this nature. And that I said, well, when did this happen? Because I thought it was something that was recent. It was not recent. And that, well, what do you want me to do? And she said, well, you have to correct these items. And so within 72 hours, I put together with a couple of companies, and I had to pay extra because they were going to, I said it was an emergency. I need to get this reduced because they're charging me $100 a day fine. And so the companies came in, the tree surgeons to cut the trees and the mowing and different things. So all the things that were necessary, the washing of the house as well as cleaning the roof, et cetera, I spent I think it was in 24 hours, I spent $12,000 trying to get the properties corrected, and which was done. So on the reinspection the week afterwards, it was found that we were in compliance. And there are things that went on that needed to be done, such as the house had already been boarded up by Charles, and I found later that there was no boarding certificate, and I was told that that needed to be done, which I did that. Everything that was brought forth, I went on. Unfortunately, Charles did pass away, and his death was very hard on me because we have been friends since 1968, and to see a man wither away was not a pleasant thing, but nevertheless, it happened. And I said to Charles before he died, about 3 days before his death, I said, Charles, you need to make yourself, because I'm a bishop, and therefore you need to make yourself ready for your change, because the doctors had already told him he had a short time to live. And he was able to do that, and I ministered him from a minister's standpoint on his transition. And he transitioned approximately 2.5 days afterwards. So the fine was excessive, and only because I did not know that I had purchased something that I shouldn't have, but nevertheless, I was helping a friend. And once I knew or was notified by Officer Luster that there were some issues that needed to be corrected, I immediately started to correct those items. I never delayed any corrective action that was needed to be done. So it was more or less negligence on Charles's behalf, because if Charles had told me from the beginning, I would have done whatever was necessary or needed to be done for the properties. So that's basically where I stand.
Okay. How much did you ultimately spend in getting the property into compliance?
All 3 properties, because there were 3 properties that I purchased from him.
No, just this one,
This one,
708 4th Street.
I spent a total of about $60,000.
Okay. And I guess I'm a little confused. Why did the fine run for 1,600 days if you got everything complied?
When I was notified by Officer Lester was in 2023 that there were issues.
So you didn't find out about it until way after the fact?
Correct. And if you check with her, she will, verify that fact. And within 72 hours, I called in a couple of companies to come in and to correct problems of the property. But I did not know.
So what's the city is not opposing a reduction. Their number is $14,320. What's your response to that number?
I think that's excessive, only because from my standpoint, because of not knowing, but I know legally, I'm responsible because I'm the, part owner of it. And none of the other owners who were involved with this purchase are in a position to pay for the corrections or things of this nature. So I would say maybe $5,000 would be an appropriate thing, only because of the mere fact, based on what took place after I was notified. Once notified that there were problems that needed to be corrected, I immediately corrected or participated personally, because on some things, even more in the grass, I have done that there myself.
Okay. Is this a rental property?
No, it's not rental. It was bought to basically, it's in the district, which is called the Historical District in West Palm Beach. At first, it was just to hold properties so that Charles, once he was well again, if God forbid it, he was going to remodel the buildings. So I loaned him monies, and which was a promissory note was put on that property of $50,000. I loaned him for remodeling and things of this nature. So now I'm at the point where I've talked to the other 2 owners, and we are going to sell the properties because there are interested buyers for the property. Because I guess I've noticed within 3 blocks away from that property, they're building a 20-some story or 14 or 15-story high-rise condominium. So it's a popular area.
Okay.
So but it is a boarded in the single-family home.
Currently, it's boarded up?
Yes, it's boarded.
Okay.
Yes.
Does the city have any response?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, anything else from you, sir?
No.
Okay. In case CE 190-60424, I'm going to reduce the previous fine amount from the $143,200 down to the $5,000, taking into consideration the amount of money that the respondent spent in getting the property into compliance, and the fact that there are no other violations under the current ownership. Can you pay that within 60 days?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that'll be payable within 60 days. Best of luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Next case is number 33 and 34 for 707 Hampton Road, CE 21060368 and CE 21080023.
Just double checking my figures here. Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For the address 707 Hampton Road, we have two cases here. For case number CE 21060368, this case was originally cited June 17th of 2021. They were cited for failure to obtain a rental license and certificate of use, for fence repair needed on the property, landscape maintenance, overgrowth of the yard, outdoor storage, inoperable vehicle, rotten wood that was present on the property and the fence as well, paint needed on the exterior of the structure, address characters needed, prohibited vehicle that was parked at the property, as well as trash and debris that was present at the property. This went to a special magistrate hearing August 4th, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of October 4th, 2021. That ran for 388 days at $150 a day for a total of $58,200 and was complied October 27th of 2022. Service was achieved in this case by way of posting. This was done under the previous owner, who had roughly about 9 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. This is the representative, the registered agent, excuse me, for the new owner. Only 1 case with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction of 15% of this lien, which is $8,730. And then for case number CE 210800023, this case was originally cited July 29th of 2021. They were originally cited for having livestock, or roosters rather, at the property. The rear shed that needed to be inspected and properly permitted to be there on the property, or for it to be removed. This case went to hearing September 15th, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start running as of November 15th, 2021. That ran for 870 days at $100 a day for a total of $87,000. And this was complied April 3rd of 2024. Service in this case was achieved by way of certified mailing and posting. Again, this was done under the previous owner. This is, again, the new owner that's here, or representative of the new owner that's here today. So the city requests a reduction of 15%, which would be a total of $13,050.
All right, your names for the record, please.
Edward Page. I'm a non-attorney consultant representing the owners of the property.
A non-attorney consultant. You
Yes,
had me
ma'am.
fooled with your attire, sir. You're very well dressed. And your name, sir?
Chris Race, the general contractor that's been doing the work over there.
Okay, so, and I guess you're the new owners, right?
That would be correct, Your Honor.
Okay, as of February 2024. All right, so you've heard the city's position. Go ahead and give me your side of things and why the fine should be reduced.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is I haven't had the opportunity to actually speak with Officer Williams here, but I would like this body to know itself and Officer Benz deserve the Code Enforcement Officer of the Year award. I will tell you, I did not like the process, but as a retired law enforcement officer, I respected it. And I understand why he had to do what he had to do. I don't want to make a lot of excuses for the previous owner. All I can do is state the facts of what brought us to this point. As of date to this point, the one structure that had to be torn down, we had to access a permit to make sure that would happen. That cost about $25,000 to get that portion of the violation done. And all of the other violations that Officer Williams and Officer Benz had cited, we went through the process of getting that done and finally were able to reach that. But the ultimate goal is to bring this property up to the standards of the city and for home ownership. And to do that, we have an estimate, which is Chris is the licensed contractor. It's going to cost about $194,000 to do just that. With the work and money we've already spent with the demo and along with the landscaping that we had to do, they've spent about $32,000 to get this place in compliance. Now, like I said, there's no excuses. They're taking responsibility for this, but we would just like to ask for some type of mercy in regards to the fees, because we still have to spend even more money to get it up to the city standards and above and beyond that. I was hoping for administrative costs and fees.
That is probably wishful thinking, sir. I guess let me ask this: what is it occupied now, the house?
No, it's vacant.
Okay. Is it intended to be a rental going forward?
No, it's going to be sold to a homeowner.
Okay. And when you bought, is MFVFL LLC, that's the same, I presume, as Moving Forward Ventures LLC?
Yes.
Okay. So when you bought it in 2022, there were liens already on the property, right? So you bought it subject to the liens?
Yes, but if you see the change in name, the person, when it was bought then, we transferred it out of that person was no longer involved. They were the person that was supposed to come in and take care of this, and I guess they were trying to rent it out unbeknownst to the people that we now represent. They were actually the people that put up the money for this person to obtain this property. So at this point, they have no choice to protect the money that they've already put out. Is to regain that back. They're going to have to spend this $194,000 to bring this property up to the standards where it needs to be today. Myself and Mr. Ray started on this probably like February of 23. And one of the first issue that came up was the city switched over from hand and paper submittals to a computer submittal. We had submitted for a permit in July, and nothing happened. So in October, we found out that they had switched over, so we needed to resubmit and put it in the portal. And not making excuses, but it was a challenging process. But as I said, I understand the process and I know why it was done, but the facts are that we've spent over $32,000 to this point, and now we're going to spend another $190,000 to get the property up to the standards of the city and a little bit beyond.
I guess the reason for spending the additional 194, the property's in compliance now, right?
Correct.
So there's no code enforcement issue as it relates to the current status of the property, correct?
Correct.
So it could sit like it is now with no objection from the city?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Like the previous case, I'll make rulings individually on these, just so that there's orders for both, because they are actually separate cases. I'll certainly take into consideration, as you heard me say to the previous respondents here, I can consider a few things under the state law. Certainly the most important one is whether this is a repeat property and how many violations, how many code enforcement cases you have. So the fact that under your ownership there aren't any other than this, that's a good thing. That certainly means that you're doing things right. I'll also take into consideration the amount of money that you have invested in getting the property code compliant to even get you here today. The gravity of the violations in this one is a little different, especially the first case. There appears to be quite a bit going on. Were either of these cases complaint driven, do you know?
Looks like one of them was initiated by the code officer herself. The other was a complaint that was received by way of email.
Was that the 34 was a complaint or the other way around?
Let's see, the one with the rental license, certificate of use, outdoor storage, and operative view, that was case number CE 210-60368.
That was the complaint-driven one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wow, I would have thought it was the other way around with the farm animals and the fowl. Okay. Are you under contract right now for the
Yes.
property? You are under contract, okay. Do you have a closing date scheduled?
Oh, no, I'm representing actually the people that loaned the money to the previous people that got them into this particular nightmare.
Okay. And these liens are holding up the next step, I presume?
Yes.
Submitting
Okay.
the building.
What's that?
Just submitting the new plans for the new building permits to redo everything. That's what we're waiting on.
Oh, so that's what's holding you up. You're trying to get okay. And what are you gonna build there as part of your next phase?
We're just gonna remodel it, new windows, fix all the things that weren't done properly initially.
Okay, so just a rehab of the
Yes, ma'am.
existing, the existing structure, okay. All right, anything further?
No, just do what you can for us, like the previous guy, have us not just look good, it's a matter of economics here, as far as you can't get money from, water from a rock.
I totally understand that. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
And thank you, Officer Williams, appreciate you.
You're welcome.
All right, let me do them in order. I know my page is out of order here. Oh, there it is. All right, in the first one, case CE 210-60368, I'm gonna reduce the fine amount from $58,200 down to $3,500, payable within, do you need 60 days?
Yes.
Payable within 60 days. In the next case, CE 210800023, I'm gonna reduce the previous fine amount from 87,000 down to 4,500, again payable by, within 60 days rather. So the city won't be happy with me on that one, but I do take into consideration the amount of money that you have spent and that you will spend, and the fact that you haven't been before myself or other special magistrates. So keep, the delicate balance here is upholding the city's code enforcement process, and especially in this case, if the previous owners, the neighbors of that property prior to your ownership had to deal with quite a lot. So I appreciate the fact that you haven't been in violation. I would encourage you to keep it that way so that you don't see me again, with all due respect.
You might see me again, but not with this owner.
Very good, sir. Have a nice day, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Number 35, 711 53rd Street, CE 210902272.
Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. The property at 711 53rd Street was originally cited September 23rd, 2021. They were cited for a fence permit that was needed, paint and pressure washing of the exterior structure, a garbage pan being placed in the view of the public, and sod needed in the front yard. This went to a special magistrate hearing November 3rd, 2021. It was ordered for the fine to start as of December 6th, 2021. This ran for 529 days at $100 a day for a total of $52,900. This was complied May 19th, 2023. Service in this case was achieved by way of posting. This is the same owner, 3 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. So the city requests a reduction of 10% to $5,290.
All right, your names for the record? Name?
Moria Gisilia.
All right, and her name?
Linda Jessilia.
And is either one of you the actual owner?
Yeah, he is.
Okay, that's how you spell your name? Okay. So you've heard what the city has said. What's your response? Why should the fine be reduced?
Hein?
Demando ki sa wap di.
Ki sa mdi?
Yeah.
Di ki sa?
Ki sa wap di pase yo met yon bagay sou pou peye ya.
Paske ke yo mpat ret nan kay la yo ilet la ba yon ni. I don't live in this house. When they send me the letters, so, and then when I go back to this house about May 2023, and then I receive another letters, and I come to the city. I tell them what this letter for, because I see they charge me like $27,000. And then when I went over there, they told me I have to get permit for the fence I put in my house, and then I have to paint the north side of my house. I say, why they charge me the money and then they don't send me any letters? They told me, yeah, they send me the letters. I say, I don't receive anything. I say, when you got something important like this, you have to certify me the letters. And then they say, oh, I send the letters in your house, in your house. I say, I don't live in there. And then I say, okay, what I'm supposed to do now? And then they told me I have to get the permit for the fence, and then I have to paint the west side of my house. I say, okay, I'm gonna do that. And then when I finish take care of that, and then I go back to the city, I tell them I'm done. When I tell them I'm done, and then they say, okay, I'm going over there to take a look to see if you got everything done. And then Robert walk and go back over there. He take a look, he see everything done. He say, okay, that's okay, you got everything complete, I'm done. And then I think you're gonna take the money out from my house. And then when I spoke to my friend said, no, they're not going to take the money out if you don't go to the court. And
Right,
then
so
I
they
go
were
back,
explaining to you
I
it's a
go back
lien,
again to
right.
the city, and then I talk to Robert walking again. I say, why you not tell me that I have to go to the court? And then he say, okay, I think you're supposed to know. I say, I don't know that. And then he say, okay, you have to fill the application. And then after 90 days, we're gonna write you letters and then to make the court appointment. And then I say, okay. But when I fill application for my permits, they take about 1 year, couple months to give me the permit. I don't know why they take so long. And then the money was $27,000. When I say everything done, they say the money go up about $50-something thousand. I say, how come? I say, when I full application for the permit, they're supposed to stop the violation. I don't know why they continue.
Well,
And then I don't know why they take so long too to give me the permit for the fence.
Yeah, the fine doesn't stop until you actually have the permit issued. What do you don't live at this house, is that right? Is it a
No.
rental house, rental property?
It's empty now.
Was it a rental property before?
Yes, but
Okay.
now it's empty.
Okay. So the city is not objecting to a reduction. Their number is $5,290. That's right, $5,290.
From there?
Does he have a response to that?
But I can't get this money now.
What are you trying to do? Are you trying to sell the property?
Because when... No, I can't sell in my house now.
Do you live there now? You don't live there. She said it was vacant. So what are you trying to do with the property that the lien is holding you up on?
Kyla? I just put in the rent.
I'm sorry?
I put in the rent.
Oh, you're going to put it for rent. But you're not refinancing and you're not selling it. How much money did you spend on getting the property into compliance?
I spent $2,000.
Okay. And you said they have 3 cases
Yes, ma'am.
on this property?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Does the city have any response to the 1 year to get the permit for the fence? Was that a matter of completeness of the application, or do you have that information?
I don't have that information in front of me, Your Magistrate.
And the landscaping, what did they do? They resodded? Was it the
Correct.
whole yard?
Yes, ma'am, the front yard.
Okay. All right, anything further you'd like me to hear? Anything further he would like to say?
I don't have anything. I'm done.
Okay. Anything further from the city?
No, ma'am.
All right. In case CE 210-90272, having considered the actions of the respondent to get the property into compliance and the expenses that he incurred to do that, having considered the other cases, code enforcement cases on this property, I'm going to reduce the fine amount from $52,900 to $3,500. How much time does he need to pay that? $3,500. How much time does he need to pay that amount? How much time? 90 days?
Did I have to pay whole money one time, or I can pay?
No, there's no installments, right? It's full payment, a one-time payment.
Huh? You have to give me like 6 months.
Is the city okay with 180 days?
Sure.
All right. $3,500 payable within 180 days, okay? So 6 months. Make sure, and like I told the
If
other
I
people.
got that money, I could pay before 6 months, but you have to give me 6 months.
That's fine. Just make sure it gets paid, because if you don't pay it within the 6 months, the fine amount will revert back to the original $52,900. So get it paid so that it doesn't go back to the original amount, okay?
Okay.
All right, good luck.
Thank you.
It looks like we have people present for number 27 and number 29 for 706 13th Street, CE 081000624, and CE 07040630, number 27 and 29. Were you sworn in?
No.
No?
No, they need to be sworn in.
You weren't sworn in?
Magistrate.
Okay, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Officer Williams, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement. For case number CE 081000624. This case was originally cited October 23rd of 2008. They were cited for not having a boarding certificate. This went to a special magistrate hearing January 7th, 2009. It was ordered for the fine to start as of March 23rd of 2009. This ran for 5,198 days at $100 a day for a total of $519,800. This was complied June 16th of 2023. In this case, service was achieved by way of certified mailing. The city requests a reduction to 5% of the lien, which would be $25,990. It is the same owner, 11 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. For case number CE 070-40630, this case was originally cited April 18th of 2007. It was cited for failing to have address characters on the premise, outdoor storage, paint needed on the exterior structure, clean and sanitary conditions, cleaning and maintenance needed of the pool, landscape areas needed sod, safe egress, again, boarding certificate needed, as well as the exterior of the property, trash and debris. This case went to special magistrate hearing August 17th of 2007. It was ordered for the fine to start as of November 15th of 2007. This ran for 34 days at $100 a day for $3,400. This was complied December 19th of 2007. Service in this case was achieved by way of certified mailing as well. Again, same owner, 11 cases with code enforcement under their ownership. City requests a reduction of this lien to 25%, which would be $850.
Thank you. Your name, ma'am?
Wild Goose Williams.
What, say, I'm sorry?
Yvette Wild Goose Williams.
Okay, and what's your relation to the property owner, to Wild Goose Mercedes H Trust?
I'm her successor trustee and executor. That's my mom.
Okay, you're the trustee on the trust?
Yes. I inherit this.
You inherited this?
Yes. My brother, my dad, prior to him finding out he had cancer, he had my brother manage the property. I live in Miami, Florida, for over 40-some years, so I would go back and forth, but my brother managed the property, neglected the property, and then when I found out he was giving it to my brother, I asked that he get a project manager or contractor instead, but anyway, I realized that the money he kept going back and forth requesting from my parents was not going into the property. And when I mentioned it, he physically attacked me. So therefore, I stepped back and no longer was involved in whatever business they had. Until when my dad passed, my mom got a trust. She took out a trust. And my mom had property in Key West. We're from Key West, Florida. And my brother took it upon himself to also have my mom quit claim her property without his knowledge, her knowledge. So there were attorneys involved. They wanted to press charges. But because my brother was a police officer and just had a kid or whatever, she didn't want to see him go to jail. All right, so in the meantime, all these years, they've had their rental property. No money has gone into the trust, or my parents have yet to benefit from it. So now my mom passes, because my mom was intimidated by my brother after seeing what he did to me and knowing what he did to her property. So that's why she put this property in the trust. He had no knowledge of it until she passed away. When she passed away, he had plans for 706 in her home of his own. It's 3 kids now. I'm the oldest. He's under me. All right, so in the trust it said to liquidate her assets, meaning I had to sell them. And when I started working towards her home, I got a court order in reference to a nuisance, to come before a nuisance board. And that's when I found out that 706 was, they wanted to seize the property due to being a nuisance and drugs. So I hadn't been out there. So when I came before the board right here, they told me not to go out there without an officer. So I was assigned to Officer McGatlin, and everything I do, I have to report to him, make it known to him. So I get there, and it's just like a movie, New Jack City or whatever. So now I have all these things that he mentioned to fix because they were neglected by him. Everything's on me now. I had no knowledge of, okay? So I had to report everything that needed to be done to Officer McGatlin, you know, to bring things up to code compliance, which I have struggled to do financially because there was no money in the trust. So I go back and forth from Miami here, trying to maintain both of her properties. The 706, I deal with homeless, crackheads, drugs. It's crazy. trying to maintain the property. But in the meantime, I have to maintain the utilities and the taxes. So I'm frustrated, you know, and then I've got a buyer. I didn't know about the $500,000 fine until when I went to sell the property. The title company told me I couldn't sell it because I had liens on the property. So now I go back, they send me the information, and I find out the liens go back to 2007 because he neglected doing what he's supposed to do for his permits and other things, bringing them up to code. So now he's already mad because I'm the trustee and he wasn't, because meaning he didn't have control. So now I have to pay people or try to get him to do what is necessary to bring the property up to code or compliance. So I had a buyer over a year. Every time I thought I had accomplished something and I was ready to sell, because I'm trying to get this behind me, it was always something I needed to do as far as bringing it back to code. They'll tell me, oh, now you have to do this, now you have to do that. Okay, so that's fine, but now I have to find people to help bring it to that position. So here I am, because I don't have $500,000, whatever it is, to pay. You know, I have a responsibility, and that's to fulfill the trust. That's all I'm trying to do. You know, it has gotten to the point where financially it's killing me because money is being taken out of my pocket. My mom passed in 21, so I've been dealing with this going on 3 years with no help. Like I said, because the money he collected from rent should have gone into the trust. So now, before I settle the trust, I have to deal with him because it's only fair.
Do you have a buyer now?
Well, I had one until last week because they waited a year and they said it was taking too long for the hearing. So I had to give them the deposit back a couple of days ago.
How long has it been boarded up?
Say again?
How long has it been boarded up?
For a while. Going back in the case notes, it's been boarded up for at least a couple of years now.
Okay.
They did have a previous boarding certificate, but it expired.
So there hasn't been any rent generated in quite a long time?
The nuisance board told me I had to evict because they had informants. They saw that drugs was being sold on the property. They told me I had to evict. These people should have been out 5 years prior to me taking over. And I had to board up. And if I decide to rent, then I would have to take this class they offer. But I'm not dealing with that. I told them, you know, my job is to liquidate, to get it behind me. I can't. I'm sorry. But that's what it's been like.
All right. The second case is easy. It's the first one that's difficult. The 11 cases that you mentioned, Code Officer, how far, are those all very old, or?
They go back as far as 2003.
And what's the most recent one?
2022, this case that we're talking about today. Oh, that's a lie. I apologize. There was a different case for rental license, inspection, and certificate of use. I don't have the date for that case, but that was in 2022.
That's okay, just so the span is from 03 to 22. Okay.
Well, I've done everything that you asked to bring it to code of compliance since the day that, you know, I was appointed trustee. And I attended the nuisance board. So I'm asking for help because I can't.
Yeah, so the city's asking for 5%, but that's still a pretty high number on this lien, $25,990. What's your response to that number?
A lot, because everything is coming from me. It's coming out of my pocket. And I'm in the process of trying to sell.
Right.
And now I have to get a new buyer as of a couple of days ago.
Yeah, the difficulty, the things that, like you've heard me tell the other people, the things that I can consider are the gravity of the violation, what you've done to get it complied, and your other history of code enforcement. The problem in this one is that this is a pretty serious violation. It's a boarded up house, as you say. There was drugs and all kinds of nefarious activities. The other problem is that there were 11 cases. So
Wow.
the neighbors had to deal with this, have had to deal with this since 2008, 2009. That's a long time.
So sorry to hear that.
But I understand that it wasn't your doing. But I have to keep, the severity of this case is a little bit different than the other one. So I'm going to grant a reduction. Whatever sale happens, if there's a mortgage, the money will have to be held in escrow anyway. So hopefully you can pay with an order that you're going to get today, you can facilitate a sale so that doesn't hold you
'Cause
up.
I have a reverse mortgage. My mom took out a reverse mortgage because she didn't have money coming in.
Right, those are, those are. All right, anything else you'd like me to hear on this one?
Oh, no, not at this time. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right, let me deal with the second case is easy. They're asking me to reduce it from $3,400 to $850. That seems like a reasonable request to me. Any objection to that number?
No.
All right, in case CE 07040630, this is number 29 on the agenda. I'm gonna do them out of order. I'm gonna reduce the fine amount from $3,400 down to $850 payable within, how many days do you need to pay that?
60.
All right, payable within 60 days. All right, and the more difficult, item 27, case number CE 08100624, I'm gonna reduce it from the $519,800 down to $15,000, but I'm gonna give you 180 days to pay that, okay? I'm gonna give you 6 months to pay it. Hopefully, you can get it held in escrow, but that's a significant reduction. The city's not gonna be happy with me, but given the history of this, I think it's in everybody's best interest for you to get it sold, so hopefully that number gets you to a place that you can get it sold and move on with your life, and not have to deal with that, okay?
Thank you.
All right, best of luck to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
And that completes the agenda.
All right, with that, I'll adjourn at 12:38.